drama unfolding on Westfield. It's like he probably reloading HP at this point. He doesn't have any bullets remaining, but he gets the shot. And now the clueless guys are showing.
You can dispraise me and you can condemn me for everything that brings me spark in my life. I was ashamed of my morals and principles, tried to achieve my own goals, choose my path.
We are not monsters, we are different, we leave as we play. We are not monsters, we are the best in the game.
Well, hello there and welcome to the second day of the second stage of the Onslaught Legends Series. My name is Kian, I'm being joined once again by a beautiful Dekilzar. How are you doing?
Great, Kian. Absolutely looking forward to cast with you. I'm surprised they haven't called from the FBI yet to pick you up after the last broadcast.
No, some of the casting lines are spicy, so hopefully you'll stay with us.
Spicy?
First of all, they're spicy.
Is that what we're going to do in China, Kian?
Oh god, he's gonna start talking about that again. But yeah, first of all, let's take a look at what you can actually get as the viewer today, because not only is the prize pool pretty stacked, I believe almost 63k at this point in time. First of all, we do have the token earnings here that you're gonna be able to use in the in-game token store for the OLS tokens. That's a lot of tokens in one sentence. Anyway, today there's gonna be 4, on Sunday there's gonna be 6, and next week there's gonna be 12 for both of the weekday streams. And then obviously we have the mystery drops coming next week Sunday. But yeah, first of all, as I said, second day of phase 2. That means we have only 6 teams remaining, and we have 3 matches today, of which all 3 are going to be best of 7.
Yeah, best of 7s is a different ballgame than best of 5s. It's going to be bangers. I mean, we're going to get bangers until the end of the season, I think. But mainly the teams to look out for, Kihans, that really need the points more than others, is Solyanka and W.
Yeah, exactly. Both of those so far not doing too well. But yeah, first of all here, as I said, we're almost at 63,000 euros for the prize pool that you can obviously boost by buying the OLS prize pool bundles. 100% of the proceedings will go into that one. Personally, I really want to see us make it to 69k. That would be really nice.
It will be hard to get to 69k though. Maybe you should promise something, Kian, if we do get to 69k.
I mean, I noticed that you weren't really bringing up our betting game on Tuesday because my predictions were pretty good there. But yeah, let's see. First of all, the OLF is also ongoing currently. That's for the North American server. And there you can see total prize pool is going to be 15,000 US dollars. First of all, schedule for today though, Solyanka versus Hit and Run to start it off, then W versus Cashback, Storm versus Mafia as the last match. But yeah, you outlined it. Solyanka and W definitely do need points, and we are not even talking about a Clan Wars campaign here.
They need points, and it starts against Hit and Run. Solyanka is a team that in the beginning of the season surprised us with some really good results, but then slowly started dropping off a little bit. They still put up a good fight, but they haven't found the consistency needed to put themselves in that top 4 positions. They're currently on the bottom of the leaderboard, joined by W, which are within 3 points reach. But for them, Kihan, it is quite a distance towards Mafia already. 7 points, so 2 matches won without tiebreaker.
Yeah, and they're taking it on against Hit and Run, who are currently 3rd, so it's not going to be an easy task. That being said, I believe Solyanka was able to best Hit and Run in phase 1, so maybe a ray of hope for them here, because they definitely need to believe in themselves today. I mean, it is only the second day of the second phase, but already we can see that, you know, teams like Hit and Run, Storm maybe even, they don't really have to worry that much anymore as of yet. Obviously, things can still change, but it does showcase that, you know, you can't just hope that you do it now. And well, the thing that I'm trying to say is that at the end of phase 2, a third of the teams that we are seeing today are going to be knocked out as well. That's a huge portion.
That's why it starts being very needed for Solyanka to pick this up. The community does not believe in them, however, which I guess is fair. Hit and Run seemed like a team that was lost in the darkness but have found the way towards the light in the Onslaught Legends series.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't start off too well and everyone was kind of doubting them. But after the show match where they were able to secure their spot for China, now they're going to be the EU second seed for Chengdu. They somehow found their way. Ketsai there, star player for them currently. Only 0.9 KD, but the average damage is there. And man, that pen rate and also 18 different tanks in 36 games. That guy is playing very, very versatile, and he's definitely helping his team in the damage department.
Yeah, Ketsai really a jack of all trades. Player plays everything, can play anything, and is pretty good at that. Victor, however, not that much of a jack of all trades, more of a Batcha 25T player.
Indeed, and his pen rate a little bit lower, the KD a little bit higher though, so he can, in those later stages of the game, really help out his team by getting out those kills that you obviously do need in 7v7. I mean, moving forward, predictions regarding how exactly this is going to play out. The pick and bans are going to help us here, because we're going to start off on El Halouf, going into Cliff, which was not the best on Tuesday by Hit and Run, but they're picking it again. Then on towards Westfield, and the possible tiebreaker would be Airfield.
So very quick maps though between these two, El Halouf and Cliff. I mean, this match is going to take us in some speed with those two maps. We have seen Hit and Run and Solyanka actually play more of a control game on El Halouf. One was way better than the other. It was Hit and Run, way better than Solyanka. They tried a double gorilla last time and that was not that great.
No, the double gorilla not working out, but the thing is Hit and Run again with the Cliff pick, and I want to hammer that home. They picked it on Tuesday and they lost it 0-2, and it looked like not good from them. They were coming with pocket strats both times against Cashback, I believe, and Cashback just mopped the floor with them.
Yeah, pocket strategies are not the way to go at some point for Solyanka, and that's the issue with them, the consistency. Sometimes really, really good rounds outplay opponents from start to finish, and then sometimes they have these rounds like the El Halouf one where you gotta wonder, like, what are they doing?
Yeah. So it's going to be a box of chocolates here, this upcoming matchup. I don't really know what exactly to expect, but I think talking back about the community predictions, yeah, Hit and Run is favored, but you said it, the maps are so quick that, you know, if Solyanka gets a good like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes even, then that might be enough to turn the match in their favor. So I wouldn't by any means count them out here.
No, I don't think so that they can just be counted out, but they need to find that consistency. Consistency will be the name of the game for them. Can they make the rounds where they're good, last, and stick, and throughout an entire match, a full best of 7?
Yeah, full best of 7. Here we do see the phase 1 scores. I believe it was 3-1 actually, but for Solyanka. So we're gonna recheck about that. But yeah, moving into this one, I mean, El Halouf, it has recently seen a surge of teams not going towards the northwest, which, if we think back to the start of the OLS, that was completely unthinkable. There we go, 3-1 for Solyanka was actually in phase 1. And that is especially weird when both teams don't go for the northwest anymore, because you basically assume when you train this that more likely than not the opponent is going to go northwest, and so you're trying to surprise them. But when both teams are going there, interesting things can happen. Most interesting thing now, obviously lineups can still change, but let's take a look at them. And Mentos bringing the 13-105 currently, and we did see that one in the show match for China, where Hit and Run with a very surprising tactic was able to take victory. So 13-105, STRV, Badger, Double Bat, Double 277. This seems a bit off meta.
Seems like outside control from hit and run. Solyanka on return though, BZ75, Bacha 25T, CS63, STB, and Bliskavice ×3. So they're definitely going for the fight, and hit and run is going to play control. And the question is, can they catch anybody in the beginning? It does seem like Solyanka is leaving a bad shot in the base to take that info point.
Yeah, now we'll have to wait and see what exactly Mentos does. This is not the aim on the cross that we did see already earlier by hit and run. This is completely different. So they're going to send Mentos down there in that 13105. Make sure does see Piotr. Yeah, he does see Piotr. So they know that something is off here, and Solyanka are now going to take the first airstrike. Meanwhile, Mentos doesn't really find a whole lot else.
That adjustment there from Solyanka actually pretty good. They have the Batchet in the base and they spotted 277 Keyhand, and that was enough. You know, spotting a 277 is enough info to be like, okay, we know what you're doing. Now the info point gets used. They see all of the Solyanka tanks in this area. No cap pressure just yet though, and I think Solyanka may just continue.
Yeah, they do see that singled out Badger of Rexa. He has the STRV possibly in support behind him, and that STRV, if he is able to, like, you know, get his ability active for the increased alpha and then just gets to farm, that can be a gruesome prospect. But Solyanka, they're starting to book it here. Good shot by Rexa in towards Trash Panda, and the push as of right now does seem a little bit disjointed, but does it matter when there's not enough to shoot? I don't think so.
The Badger needs to be deleted now by the boys from Solyanka. The tracking shots coming in as well. They're trying to keep him in place, not succeeding at that. Trash Panda down towards 760. They're trying to find Rexar, but this has cost a lot of HP for the Solyanka side. Trash Panda down towards the one-shot. Rexar will now fall at the very least in return. The airstrikes are starting to come out on towards those 277s. That's 800 already. They do not have another one available. The bad shots are now coming in as well behind the Solyanka team. And where do these Bliskavices decide to go? Victor seems to be caught out actually in his bad shot against Mentos and T-Sec.
Yeah, Mentos and T-Sec there right now trying to do the 2v1 against the Batchat, and you can see the problem a little bit with the Solyanka lineup is that, yes, the Bliskavitzes are somewhat mobile, but not enough to really catch out those 277s, and right now, hit and run here with the HP advantage seem to be getting the better engagements. That being said and done though, Chucky does get caught here. He manages to put another shot in, so Shokorex's gonna go down towards a one-shot, but in the meanwhile, Shelby falls in the CS.
Shelby falls in the CS. The Bachelor of Victor didn't make it out, and now though 1000 HP separate these two. Can Solyanka actually bring it back? And they find Monster, for example, in the STRV, who has been playing a pretty good game of Roll the Tanks there. He's chasing down the STB even, I think, in his STRV. But now the funny thing is that hit and run actually has control over the strikes. Vladislav finding Piotr though in a 277, and Piotr kind of by himself, Keyhand, takes 800 to the face. There's no support for him. Not sure why that was the play there for Piotr.
Yeah, not sure either. Possible one-shot now as Monster goes over 5k damage already with that STRV, and he is in the 1v1 against the SCB here right now. The SCB with the tracking shot, but isn't able to get past actually in the bottom left of the screen, and Monster here double-tracked as it seems, not able to really do something in the STRV right now. Now finally he does get the track back up, but from the sidelines comes the STRV and the double kill with the strike, the 13105. Mentos there to pick it up.
Yeah, and that push there from Solyanka in the beginning of the game, disjointed. They had the right idea, push together, but the BZ Kian kind of dying by himself and then leaving a bad shot behind that also got caught and then had to run away and was not really impactful in this battle. And you could see the Blitzka struggle a little bit, right? Having to drive too much open ground, too much distance, and hit and run with the outside control will make it 1-0.
Will indeed. Victor here trying to do what he can at the end of this game, but it's not going to help much. The 13105 even has a possible one clip on towards him. Well, not unlikely, but still possible. But yeah, T-Sec gets the information tower, doesn't use it yet even, so Victor needs to be extremely careful from now on. But this is, yeah, a good opening for hit and run. I think at times it seemed a little bit shaky, but Mentos with that double strike, that was, yeah, well placed.
Yeah, but I don't think that just a double strike is, you know, the reason why they won. It helped, but the game was already kind of over at that point, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
Thing is, they were both one shot.
Yeah. And obviously it does keep Monster alive here as well. That was pretty clutch, but I do agree. that the biggest problem possibly was that the strike was just a little bit disjointed. T-Sec now here getting the strike on towards Vikshar, makes him a 2-shot, and obviously Vikshar is going to do whatever he can, but it's going to be too little and it's going to be too late. Hit and Run are going to start off here with a victory on El Halouf.
A victory on El Halouf for Hit and Run, taking it in round number 1. Even with Solyanka having all that info, all that info, let's be realistic, they knew that Hit and Run was playing outside, so that gives a lot of info. One tank being spotted gives that info. They weren't able to make the correct decision. And yeah, if they blow up the Badger, they manage to kill the Badger relatively easily for free, then they can keep snowballing off of that. But they traded 1 for 1 for the Badger, which not something you would like to see.
Yeah, and to be honest, the Badger didn't do that much, only 3 shots of damage realistically. But he traded himself off well, which was the most important thing. And yeah, the thing that actually dealt damage was Monster in that SGRV. That was behind the Badger, and that's obviously what you want to have happen in the SGRV, right? Tanks driving out in the open over a lot of open ground realistically, and then you just get to farm and farm and farm. So things going well here, off of a surprise tactic for Hit and Run. And man, the offside plays here, not going northwest, keeps enjoying a very, very high win rate here in OLS.
Wasn't it Solyanka that actually ruined the win ratio?
Possibly, yeah.
I have a feeling that it was them that ruined the win ratio on it. With the double Grilla.
Then again, Solyanka did pick El Halouf. So yeah, kind of weird, or maybe Hit and Run is just so good. I mean, in the end, I think Solyanka, there was no real need to push for them realistically, because they had both strikes under control, right? They didn't have the information towers or anything, but if both teams are full HP and you have control over the strikes, normally that should, in the long run, net you an advantage, because, well, you can also just sit there and take, another 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes and just have everyone in the team have a strike over some minutes of time.
That is also possible. They could have definitely collected more airstrikes before they make this push. It is indeed possible to get 4 airstrikes at least, because it would take them another minute and a bit to collect 4 airstrikes and then go with 4 airstrikes. And that is basically able to blow up 1 tank for free.
Yeah, exactly. That's 1600 damage on towards 1 tank. Add to that a salvo of your own guns. And then you're able to take out the Badger much quicker, and you can focus your attention on towards the STRV that's tearing you apart. So I do think the push by Solyanka there was a little bit disjointed, and it was too early, to be quite frank.
I agree. But maybe they were trying to... On the other hand, Kian, you have to also assume that they were doing it because they knew that Hit and Run was probably still taking their base,
Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I think you can give up the base. That being said, or your spawn at least. Now, however, predictions coming in. Both of us saying it's going to be a 4-2. Moff saying Hit and Run is going to have smooth sailing from here on out. 4-1. That's quite the brutal prediction.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think Moff just expects Hit and Run to start really firing on all cylinders as we approach the end of the season, which is also fair.
Mm-hmm. And realistically, Hit and Run has been historically a team to get better over time in such events. Now, however, I don't think the lineups are going to stay as they are. Piotr with a 277, double Batchat here, double 277 actually, and now the stage 2 is gone. However, Hurricane, so CS63 essentially, and double Bliskavica. And for Solyanka, 1 Grilla this time, Ducky.
Okay, 1 Grilla. Already better than last time. Triple Bliska, a Bat, Amino, and an EBR. I said last time that the teams that do well on outside control keyhand are not the ones that pick specific tanks for that purpose. They pick tanks that are able to do it, but at the same time tanks that can move around the map and can repush if needed.
Mm-hmm. And we all know Grilla not the best tank at repushing. They do commit a fair amount of tanks on towards like the northwestern direction. Never mind, the Blueskas are actually going to turn around. Are they going to get some damage here on towards Piotr? It seems like they're able to. One shot does connect, but obviously keep in mind at that kind of distance, the damage drop off is going to cost the Blueskas. And this is why we only see Piotr taking like 600. Not sure if that was a Mino shot instead. But they do make hit and run bleed a little bit, especially since Rexa also took one.
So initial damage, pretty decent, and this is a really weird split game if you look at it, right? When is the last time you saw an El Haluf that looked like this?
I mean, looks more like my average random battle, like, right? A lot of people camping close towards the spawn. But now Hit and Run decide to make a move here, and T-Sec in the CS63 is gonna get spotted for that. Ooh, Cat's Eye and Monster here are gonna do a little bit of a boost, and this does secure that Cat's Eye gets up there. Possibly, eventually, unspotted at some point in time, but T-Sec probably told both of them, yo, I took the easy route and I wasn't spotted, so that is why we see Monster now coming up there. Cat's Eye still struggling a little bit. Let's see if he makes it up. Yep, is going to do that, and now Vladislav is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Does now finally see the Hurricane, puts him one shot of damage. T-Sec unable to respond, didn't have the turret in the correct direction, but this is problematic here for Vladislav because he doesn't know about the double bat, but they are able to kill him if they go up here.
I think he might actually just drop towards the other side, and that's exactly what Vladislav is looking for. Monster already predicting this though, is going to be ready and waiting, and Vladislav now in trouble. Monster chasing from the other direction, and Monster even might get a little bit of a ram. He does, but this is an EBR down and out. Victor also dead in the meantime, and Vladislav in that EBR is going to fall against Monster. Good double teaming there from Hit and Run, picking up not one but two tanks apparently, as they also pick up the bad shot of Victor, and the off-screen Piotr, the first one to fall. But now it is on Solyanka to try and make something happen here, and Trash Panda did that, but that was right into the guns from the entirety of the Hit and Run side. He will pick up the kill though, making it 5v5, but is down towards a one shot for this.
Down towards one shot, and T-Sec there misses his chance actually to pick up Trash Panda. Let's see if he will try to blind fire. Doesn't seem like it. Trash Panda is gonna get picked up by T-Sec though. Good blind fire coming out from the Hurricane, and now it is problematic here for Solyanka. Down a gun, and also they do have the Gorilla still that cannot really like repush properly, as we said at the start of the game. And now Shelby is going into the 1v2 here. That's obviously not going to favor him, and yeah, I think Rexa is possibly even going to pick up the strike here. So Shelby calling for support, and it does come. Shockerix with the Minotauro is here to have a say in the matter.
Say on the matter, but can they actually make this work for them? They can. They find Mentos. Now it's back on 4-on-4. This is the weirdest El Haluf I've ever seen, Kian, honestly.
It is pretty weird indeed, and now
Gorilla is coming in, man. You see, this is what might end Solyanka's opportunities to win this battle. The fact they have a Gorilla.
Yeah, and it feels like so far the Gorilla wasn't really that impactful, right? We didn't really focus on it, so maybe it has like 5,000 damage at this point, but I don't really think so. Depressed now, looking at Rexa, but I think Rexa has the better position here. He is going to be above Depressed, and he does put in 474 and able to angle his upper hull. So a good shot coming out from Rexa that even now gets support from the offside. I think that's a bad shot clipping out, and indeed Monster finds yet another kill. So once again, Hit and Run in front.
Hit and Run in front, and also behind, because T-Sec is flanking in the CS63, and he may even take an info point, and the rest of the tanks here in pretty good positions for Hit and Run, split across the board. Now Shockerix, Shelby, and Xang pushing in. Cat's Eye in a good bush spots it out. Rexar will find the first shot there on the Gorilla. Cat's Eye now finding a shot on towards Shelby, clipping out on towards Xang, and it seems like every step of the way the boys from Solyanka will bleed and suffer, and T-Sec is zooming as quickly as humanly possible across the map to join them here, but there's no way that they're gonna actually find anything.
Yeah, exactly. Shelby now down towards one-shot monster with yet another kill, 4 HP remaining. And from the backlines, actually Katsunk there with the strike is able to finish off the bat shot, but that might be too little too late. Good ram coming in from T-Sec with the Hurricane here, as well as Shockerix falls. And once again, this one-line push into waiting tanks from Hit and Run is going to cost them the game. Hit and Run cleanly pick up Solyanka's map pick 2-0.
2-0, and real trouble for Solyanka, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a really weird El Haloof. Both teams are. I mean, the EBR missing the bad shots come up because they took the alternative route, right? It's just really good stuff from Hit and Run.
Yeah, it was well played by Hit and Run. I think it was, I mean, obviously unfortunate timing as well for the EBR, but realistically, as an EBR, you need to like spot the approach. You cannot just get caught like that, because, yeah, he died without achieving really anything. So like, if you get sent there with an EBR, you obviously need to be aware of the fact that, hey, there could be a bad chat, for example, coming up, and the EBR, we just saw it had 1950 HP. If you take a little bit of ramming, that's a definite one clip for the bad chat if it does 555, and if there's two, even worse. And Monster and Cat's Eye here really putting the team on their backs, both in spots 1 and 2 of damage and kills as well. So Hit and Run, it seems like if they don't pick triple bad, things can work out for them.
That is true. Now we go into Cliff, though. Normally, we won't see too many around plays on this one. I think,
yeah.
I mean, I'd be surprised if we do.
Yeah, I mean, Cliff, 2 days ago, I think the most positive thing we can say about it from Hit and Run's perspective would be that the mistakes that they made were kind of obvious, so they should be easy to fix. But that is a very, very, you know, backhanded compliment in a way. That also means that, you know, realistically what they were playing on Cliff on Tuesday was just, you know, it wasn't it. It could also obviously be down to the fact that I think they played against Cashback, that they were just, you know, reacting so well to what Hit and Run was doing. And maybe in the scrims that Hit and Run had, it was working out pretty well because they managed to surprise their opponent. But yeah, on Tuesday it just wasn't it. And once again, weirdly enough, we are here in this position where Hit and Run pick up the opposing map 2-0, but they are a well-known team for throwing their own map 0-2. So let's see how it goes.
I don't think Hit and Run throws this, Gant. I really don't see it. I'm sorry. Today just seem already on form on Haloof, and I know that could bite me in the ass in the long run, but both rounds, I mean, even the weird round, they just kept putting themselves ahead.
Yeah, they were just, I think, individually and mentally a little step ahead of what we saw compared to like Solyanka. It seemed like Hit and Run always had a plan already when Solyanka was still trying to figure out what exactly was happening in the round. So that is good for them, but now it's Cliff, and Cliff is obviously one of those maps as well, where yes, you have an initial like tactic and strategy, and you have a game plan how you want it to go. But here especially, I think the old saying is true that like, yeah, all battle plans last until you meet the opponent, and then you have to adjust.
Make your tactic on Cliff, Kian. Huh? Let's hear it.
My tactic on Cliff, 7
Without
good tanks, middle and play from there.
Okay. That's not a tactic, Jan.
No, but it's a plan, you know?
It's not even a plan. Is that what you want to... Is that the best you can do for your troops? Just go middle?
I mean, I've never been the best at motivational speeches, so probably, yeah.
I'm disappointed.
How do you think Cliff is going to go? Are we going to see Hit and Run once again trying to play something weird, or are they going to go with like more
You know what I really liked on Cliff?
approach?
I think it was Clueless that actually played it. The double griller.
Oh,
I actually really liked that. I thought that was pretty neat. Because of how many people don't play with... Okay, well, I mean, that's... Yeah.
All right.
He's also a good choice, though. Arguably a good choice if he can hit the shot.
if he can hit the shot. All right, let's see. Hit and Run currently with a double 50B, double 277, one CS 63, one bad shot, and the FV does get switched away, so we're left with a Centurion Action X. And for Solyanka, I mean, the lineup is pretty straightforward, I guess.
It's very French. We won imposter.
Yeah. I mean, one RHM and 6 bat shots. Guys, the bat shot was buffed, yes, but not that much. Like, all right, Hit and Run are going to go with 5 tanks bottom side and are going to try and control it. There are 2 tanks towards the middle, and for Solyanka, they're actually going to do what I said, pick 7 good tanks and go middle. Is it going to help them a lot? Let's see, because Ketsai might get caught out here. That is 6 hungry bat shots that are going to chase after the CS63. Actually, Trash Panda wasn't even completely reloaded, now starting to unload actually, and Ketsai is getting completely busted on this approach.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots from a lot of bad shots, and Hit and Run actually played the tactic that is the worst against this. Honestly, it is the worst variant. Going full 1-2 with CS on the hill, the CS was never living, and now they're just getting chewed through on the crossing. Mentos is dead, the rest of them soon to follow. And Solyanka with this opening, Kian, it's simple. It sounds exactly like something you would do, but sometimes simple is all you need.
Sometimes simple and well played is indeed all you need. Hit and Run currently, I mean, down, but not really that much out yet. Now the bat shot seemingly reloaded, starting to come in. T-Sec is going to bear the brunt of the damage, is gonna get picked up by Shelby Walk, and that is 6 hungry autoloaders. Make that 5 as Vladislav falls to the grave, but Rexar as well, and Piotr not long for this world. Solyanka is snowballing out of control on Cliff.
The thing is, Kian, with these bat shots, we say that's not close. Right, that they're still within like striking distance, but realistically, once the bad shot starts getting ability, it's undefeatable. You cannot compete against it. If you have 6 of them that have like level 2 charge on ability and some level 3, they have so much DPM. It's crazy. It's like 12 seconds or something reload key, which basically means you fire in your 277, and by the time you come off a reload, you start getting clipped.
Yeah, I mean, Chucky now dropping down is going to try and pick up Viksha, but not even that is going to be happening because Shelby Walk from the top is able to pick it up. And now Monster, I mean, in the Centurion Action X, he's going to try to do something here, but realistically, I think Hit and Run was just completely caught with their pants down.
Like I said, this variant that Hit and Run played with 6 down, 1 up is the best for 7 middle, 7 quick tanks middle, because you're not really in time to shoot them pushing over mid effectively. You can do like a bit of damage, but not much, and you lose your tank going on the hill immediately. So you're always in trouble, because once you start repushing mid, they're all reloaded. If this was like 7v7 regular, right, and you lose the CS afterwards, they're all of them, or like half of them are reloading. Some of them have some shots, but you push across mid, you don't lose another tank. Now in this though, they're all reloaded, and the first 50B, I mean, unfortunate.
Yeah, it went poof. Is there a way where Hit and Run after the opening like gets to not repush middle and somehow gets to play, or do you think it's just over? Like opening for opening, just plain done.
Ketsai not having a good time, but nobody really on the Hit and Run side had a good time. I mean, this was over after they lost the CS, in my opinion.
I mean, realistically, what is Ketsai supposed to do? Like, it's fully loaded bat shots chasing after him. He doesn't survive there. Shelby Walk actually with a bit of KD padding here, 5 kills to his name, so playing for the team, as some would say. But yeah, overall I think Solyanka here with a little bit of a cheeky strat, but you know, if it works, it works. Who are we to blame them?
It was the perfect strategy. Maybe they should do it twice. This time just 7 tanks 1-2 key, huh? I
mean, fool me once, fool me twice. You know how it goes. Let's see. I think tactics like these are, you know, fairly straightforward, and it's cool when they work. But if you do it too often, then you kind of become predictable, and thus, like, in the end, they kind of fall off if you do it more than once. But maybe Solyanka is banking on that fact, and they will try to do it again. Who knows? A good start for Solyanka on Cliff though, because finally they also were able to take a round. Because realistically on El Haluf, it looked like Hit and Run was just flat out the better team. And to be honest, rounds like these on Cliff here now, if teams have a certain amount of player skill within them, then winning an opening like this doesn't really mean that all of a sudden the adjective of better team switches over, but this is exactly what they need. Like going down 0-3 in a best of 7, that is almost unrecoverable. 1-2, a lot more playable.
I would like to see them drive 7 bad shots 1-2. I think it's 6, sorry. 6 and an imposter.
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
I'm making a list, by the way, Kian. I've started my list. And I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, and they're making a list for all the things that you and me are going to try in China. And I'm going to record every single one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And you have absolutely zero input in the matter.
As long as I don't have any spicy input into my mouth as well, I'm fine with that.
No.
See, this is the face of a sadistic maniac while he thinks about what he's going to do to his victim.
Yes. They're going to make a new Netflix series about me.
All right, round number 2 on Cliff is up and coming, though. Solyanka, I mean, cheesy round number 1. They do get the victory, and I don't think there really was any recovery after the opening from Hit and Run to somehow come back into this round, just because of the bad shot reloading so quickly when it does the first shots. So you're essentially pushing one man down into 7 fully loaded tanks. That doesn't work. All right, it seems like Hit and Run recognized that the approach from last round didn't work, because we do see quadruple E50M together with Centurion Action X, Batchat 25T, and the MVY actually getting switched from Mentos' CS63.
Well, they're doing a little bit of trolling. Solyanka, however, 6 bad shots and an RHM Kian. Maybe they've redefined the meta, although these E50s might actually be a good counter to those, though.
Yeah, the E50M does have a lot of HP with the funny button, has a lot of DPM as well. Add to that the Inspire coming out from the medium of Monster as well. And Hit and Run bringing 2 Batchats of their own that can add a little bit of burst potential, as the RHM is going to get the spot on towards double Bat and double E50M going upside, meaning 3 tanks from Hit and Run, those going towards the lower, are currently unspotted.
So again, the tanks from Solyanka this time not pushing through mid, but crossing over with the 6 bad shots. The 50s are trying to chase as well, and can they actually find something here is the big question. It seems like Hit and Run is just backing behind the corner. Here come the bad shots, so they're driving down, Kihan?
It is a great migration towards the 1-2 line, and I think Chucky is not going to serve well as a border guard. He's going to get overrun as Viksha already bites the dust, so Hit and Run are pushing back against this, and I think, Ducky, they have found an opening with these funny button E50Ms just chasing after the Batchats, chasing them down and putting them down. 2 killed already.
I don't think even Solyanka knew where they were going at some point. Left, right, everywhere. Honestly, going over mid would have been another good call, because it was a split, right? So they would find some targets at least and be able to overwhelm them. But this, I mean, they lost, I think, 2 bad shots almost immediately. And we can see Hit and Run this time not suffering more than just 1 casualty, which was Chucky, which was the wall that got overrun. But the rest of them were able to put them back where they belong. So
wait, does Mentos have an HE clip loaded?
Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
Mentos wants the damage.
Yeah, damage is indeed damage, and he puts in 4 out of 4 so far. Kitsung's so confused, he drives in towards a stone, and the ram kill coming through. Hit and Run is like, shame me once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, and that's not gonna happen. So yeah, absolute counter to the counter being played by Hit and Run. Good stuff, 3-1. And yeah, I think not even like the Solyanka players are gonna be able to like keep a little smile off of their face because like
I
it
don't think
worked
they're
once,
smiling,
but
Kian. I don't think they're smiling. I was like, where are they going, Nate? Where are they going? And then it's like, one of them was like not on the... One of them was like, I'll go for Monster, I'll go for Monster. I'm dead. I'm dead.
And yeah, we do see the damage spread coming out, and I think Vladislav was the first one to the grave, just getting completely annihilated. Actually, what's the HE pen on the E50M? Is it something like 50 millimeters, or does it get the good 105?
No. It definitely doesn't have 100. More like the 50 to 70 range.
53, I think.
Yeah, something in that range. Enough to pen bad shots running away.
Yeah, enough to pen bad shots. That is what matters here. And we do see the E50Ms, basically top and bottom of the pack. Mentos there was obviously able to, at the end, pad his stats there with an HE clip. That is also a thing on the bad shot now, right? I think, let's say half a year ago, you would have never taken an HE clip.
Most people still don't load an HE clip yet.
Yeah, I mean, Mentos, yeah. Yeah, it worked out this time. Don't try this at home, kids. Anyway, after 2 maps, we are at a 3-1 scoreline, meaning that we're going to see at least one round of Westfield. What's your take on that one? Solyanka versus Hit and Run on that map.
I mean, it depends how inspired Solyanka is by W on previous Westfields with bad shots.
I hope not too inspired. That didn't go too well.
I have a feeling it's going to be 4-1, Kian. But for our sake, I hope that the Westfield just delivers for Solyanka, and then it's 4-2.
Yeah, I hope the same thing. So, you know, we get our prediction right and not Moff. Oof. I think Hit and Run, though, like, that was the perfect adjustment. I think they sacrificed a little bit of being able to play against different setups to completely being able to counter this 6 batch at 1 RHM. Lineup that then ended up, you know, completely getting crushed. Like, it wasn't even close.
Depends what kind of Westfield we're getting here, Kian. Right? If it's a straight brawl, I think Hit and Run just wins.
Probably. I don't think... Like, when was the last time we saw
Yesterday.
both teams fully committing upper side?
Try to answer quickly, but unlucky. I can't recall, Kian, but I thought that was your job.
Well, if it is, then I have just utterly failed at it. Because I don't recall either, and that means that, you know, both teams going there is sort of out of fashion right now. So I don't think we are getting a straight brawl out of this one. Obviously, the teams can prove me right momentarily, but more likely than not, and also considering how the teams have been playing this map in the past, I think we might even see like a brawl around the points of interest, like where the 2 information points and the 1 strike are. I think that is a lot more likely between those 2.
A brawl for the point. That's possible. That's definitely possible. Okay. Hit and Run. This looks their final lineup. Triple E50, triple Blitzka, and an STB. Actually interesting. I mean, the Inspire makes sense. Full DPM almost.
Full DPM. Meanwhile, Solyanka also with an Inspire medium, so the STB as well. But after that, things differ a bit because there's a BZ75, a Badger, an RHM, and double Blitzka together with Minotauro as well. So Solyanka going for the light tank approach compared to Hit and Run's more like a straight in-your-face lineup.
I mean, both of these are in your face, though, no?
Yeah.
Minus the
yeah.
RHM.
But I think Hit and Runs is a bit more, like it spells a little bit more like we want to brawl immediately. They do split up, however. They're going to send the STB1 in towards the cubby, probably, at A4. And they do send the triple Blitzka up as well. RHM of Shelby is on a journey, so he is on the long flank. This means that he's going to be out of game, and this might be good for Hit and Run because they actually have 7 tanks here directly in the brawl.
And the RHM hiding at K4 is not going to be what Solyanka needs right now. Ketsai already coming back in with his Bliskavica trading against Vladislav. Monster hiding. He's going to start peeking as well. And look at the surround that is currently here by Hit and Run, Kihan. And now Rexar starting to push in. They know that Fixtures from behind Rexar is actually going to be backing off because of the looming threat of the STP, who also wasn't spotted, I think. So now actually Solyanka turned that back around in the faces of Hit and Run, who had the initial trade, but now the RHM may actually matter. But here comes Hit and Run yet again from a different angle, a different approach, a different angle of attack. Vladislav trying to pull back, but there is no escape for Mr. Vladislav. He goes into the grave, and still all this time we are waiting for Shelby to arrive in this battle.
Indeed, Shelby not yet there currently, and the STB, keep in mind, yes, it is providing free stats, but it's not providing HP in this fight as well, as Trash Panda is probably going to be the next focus here for Piotr and Monster, who are double teaming on that heavy tank on the offside here right now. Ketsai down towards one shot, but at this point in time, Hit and Run well and truly ahead with HP, with guns, with everything. Monster to shut down Trash Panda and to shut down the hopes of Solyanka of getting any points out of this matchup. It's going to be 4-1, and Moff is going to be correct.
Yeah, good for Moff. 4-1 scoreline. Hit and Run dominating this match. Only fallen once against a really good opening tactic from Solyanka. This one, however, they were so far ahead from the beginning. 7 tanks fighting. Sure, they were a bit afraid of the STB, but then they just re-aggressed in a different part of the map, made it 4-1 for them. That was really good from Hit and Run. Looks like the team that we remember.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a very, very dangerous team of Hit and Run. It is like, I don't want to see they look unbeatable like they have been in, like, for example, past VOD 7s, but this is the Hit and Run that we kind of, you know, got to see and like and love from past tournaments, and that is a Hit and Run that we haven't really seen that much yet of. So good for them, and obviously Solyanka bearing the brunt of it here, getting, yeah, outplayed in most rounds by Hit and Run, only getting that one cheeky one. Good job, Hit and Run. What can we say, right?
They look like the team that they used to be, not dropping really anything because of like some bad plays, some throws, just solid throughout, good cohesion, good brawls, really well played for them. They're going to be very happy. Of course, they did beat the lowest ranked team currently, so maybe we shouldn't take away too much from it, Key. Because Solyanka did start dropping off a little bit. But talking about bottom of the league, W is going to face a rather significant task ahead of them.
Yeah, W, who are second lowest right now, discarding obviously the 2 knocked out teams, they are going to have to take on Cashback, and that is quite the terrifying prospect actually, because Cashback hasn't looked too shabby in their own right. And W, I think they are place number 5 at the moment. They really need points. Same as Solyanka does. For Solyanka, the chance is over, but W, they need to make something happen today as well. There is obviously going to be another match in between those two, I think, where Solyanka does play W. And there they are going to take points off of each other, which is going to help the other teams at that point in time. But yeah. Anyway, Ducky, I think that's quite enough talking from the two of us for now. We'll be back after the replays with more action.
this year, the Onslaught Legends Series. This is your chance to make the event truly awesome by boosting the prize pool and getting a cool 2D style and other goodies in the process. Contribute now.
And you just saw it now, the marathon for the Grom has started. So if you're gonna be playing randoms, you're going to be completing the missions for that one. Not the worst tank in its own right, I think, and it plays very much in line with the Polish tech tree TDs. And I really have to get into the habit of saying Bryskowica, apparently, because I just had someone slide into my Discord DMs and tell me how it's pronounced, because it's actually the L with a strike through.
I should have responded, who asked? Again. That's what you should have done.
Well, we'll see. Now, however, first of all, we do have the upcoming match. W against Cashback. And once again, we have Underdog against Top Dog playing, because currently Cashback seem to be on a bit of a roll, even though I think their last match they did lose against Hit and Run, but Hit and Run, they are just looking so crisp right now.
Hit and Run looked amazing. You know who didn't look amazing so far, though?
Yeah, W once again looking kind of spotty at this point in time. That's something I feel like I'm saying every stream, but that is because the best
comparison for W, Kihan, is like one of those early summer days in Germany, West Coast Germany, right? But it's like 20 to 25 degrees and you're like, oh, what a beautiful day it is. And then you go outside, you know, you're walking around in your lederhosen and sandals with white socks, and it starts raining. And
you know, just because the Oktoberfest is currently ongoing doesn't mean every German is walking around in lederhosen.
Let me finish my story. Every German walks around in lederhosen with sandals with white socks. Anyways, so you're walking outside, it's a beautiful day, and it starts raining, Kihan. But it rains for just 5 minutes, so you're like annoyed, right? So it's like not consistent. And this happens throughout the entire day. So when you get home, you're very angry. That is W to me.
And then on the other hand, we do have Cashback. They have looked pretty strong, especially throughout the second half of the stage 1, where they did look good. And actually that's being underlined by the fact that Cashback is currently sitting on a 5-win streak.
Yeah. Cashback, I mean, truly, Gotcha Baby said it only about Liberty, but Cashback, if you want to compare it, Kihan, is like a cold day in Germany, right? And you wake up in the morning and it's cold and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to work, yeah? But then you go outside and there's just like a few rays of sunshine that warm up your face. That is Cashback.
And there is actually 9 rays of sunshine on that Cashback lineup. Every player is really performing at this point in time, and that is being reflected by the community predictions. 85% for Cashback. That is quite a lot, but I don't think that it's entirely unjustified, actually.
No, I don't think that's unjustified. The face-off here, Squeezy versus Gotcha Baby. We really should have had Liberty there, Kihan, to make the love story complete, but maybe next time. Gotcha Baby has been farming, but been going a bit downhill recently.
Yeah, I think he's still the player with the highest DPG in OLS, but realistically, there's nothing that you get from being highest DPG. You need your team to win for it to mean anything, and Squeezy is currently on top with that. With Cashback here, and I mean, the stats there, how much, like, first of all, I mean, we do see 32 against 35 battles played. I think those players here on screen right now, they do play every single battle for their team. It's just that obviously some teams will have more battles played than others due to the format of like best of 5, best of 7. If you are able to finish earlier, you have to play less battles. Obviously, that goes the other way around as well. If your team like loses very quickly, you don't get to play a lot of battles, but for Cashback, that hasn't been the case, at least the last 5 play days. Now, however, in towards the map pick and ban, and today seems to be a cliff day. We're going to start off there into Muravanka by Cashback, actually, although W has been liking that map a lot. In towards Ghost Town then, and possible tiebreaker Pilsen. So cliff, once again, I think is going to be a very quick opener. Muravanka could be quick as well, but could be slow.
The way W plays Muravanka, it's going to be quick. The way they play it. They don't really play for control too often. They always play for some sort of aggression. And then Ghost Town, tiebreaker Pilsen. Let's see. It all starts with Cliff. I don't particularly favor either of the two on Cliff.
I mean, Cliff is just such a 50-50 map, right? We just saw how much actually depends on openings. And the answer in the last match that we saw was, well, kind of everything. If you have a good opening against what the opponent is doing, then some things are almost irrecoverable. And then if the opponent adjusts, what seemed like a good opening in the past battle completely ends up falling apart. So, yeah, I'm kind of undecided about Cliff myself, but I think Muravanka, we've seen W pulled some miraculous victories there somehow, but I still would say Cashback are favored there, especially since they picked it, and then Ghost Town after. I mean, if we are talking about a team that, you know, owns a map, like for example Storm with Westfield, then Cashback definitely would be the Ghost Town team.
Yeah, that's why I think W, if they want to win, they have to win in the beginning of the matchup. If we go to Ghost Town, I don't think they're closing it out. Is that fair?
I think so, yeah. First of all, Cliff, however, and, you know, if there is a map on which you cannot guarantee to, like, win 2 games or even 1, then it would be Cliff. Phase 1 scores 3-2, actually, so W was able to beat Cashback there in Phase 1, 3-2 in tiebreaker. But that was, I think, a different kind of Cashback. That was not the Cashback that we have now with a 5-win streak.
No, they started their season off shaky, but they grew into it. While W started their season off shaky and is now still shaking.
Yeah. I think that is a very fair assessment, and that is problematic. W, they need to eliminate that. They need to put points on the board because they're currently not even in those top 4 that would be making it into the final stream on October 13th. And actually, I just had production tell me the match in between W and Cashback that was won in tiebreaker, that was the match where basically Cashback was playing 6v7, right?
Yes. That was actually the one. That was the day that had a lot of issues with the EBRs disconnecting, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah, exactly. That was the problem there. But I think they probably tested that thoroughly now. So if we go to Ghost Town, I don't expect for it to happen. Into the match we go, however. And Cashback are going to open up with what looks like a very, very aggressive lineup here. Quadruple 50B, double BZ, and an RHM.
W in return, though, they're changing a little bit. Triple BZ, double BAT, and double V4. And looking back at the Cashback lineup, Kihan, it seems like they're going for quad 50B.
Yeah, quadruple 50B here. That's not something you usually see. Actually, it looks a little bit like a lineup from you know, before this season of Onslaught, like no TDs, a lot of autoloaders, something like this, and W paying a bit more respect to the current meta with a double V4. So let's wait and see how this one actually does stack up. Cashback are going to send 2 tanks to the upper side, and the quadruple 50B together with the RHM are going to stack up against Miku, who is the only tank by W getting sent to lower.
Cashback in return though, sending 5 tanks lower, 2 tanks up. They're gonna take the info, they will know what's happening. Twilight and Aka being sent away to kill Miku. Iset as well, it's a bit much. Iset turning up. That's the correct play, and W will have to go over the middle here, Kian, because Miku is going to take a lot of damage for this. The V4s are trying to get in. Miku taking a lot of damage from Twilight, as expected. Liberty now coming through on the 1-2 line as well. Takes a lot of damage himself in that RHM, but he should be able to find Miku over time. But here comes W though. The full repush towards 1-2 or half repush, Kian. I'm not sure. W don't seem to be convinced himself.
Yeah, it seems a little bit disjointed currently, but Squeezy now needs to be careful that he doesn't get pushed by Clurf and Solo. Now, as the V4s arrive in towards the 1-2 line, Miku is the first one to bite the dust against Liberty, who once again puts the team on his back and starts carrying that quadruple 50B, starting to clip out here against the V4s frontally. That's obviously not that much damage as you would like to have. Another shot coming out from Aka, and I think Itox realizes it is now or never for them to repush, because the 50Bs are going to be on reload. Clurf here pushing in as well, little towards one shot, but actually Twilight gets shut down by Frugo. W, they need to do this before the 50Bs come off reload, but are they able to? Probably not. The HP advantage almost insurmountable.
It was 6k, it's now back down to 2k, but now the 50Bs come off reload, and this is disaster waiting to happen for W. Click now getting clipped out. Iset missing a few shots, so needs to be careful. Barbarian will give one. Iset has one more, finishes off the job finally, and Aka now on reload as well. So Cashback struggled a little bit with the clips there, Kihan. It wasn't as clean as you would want, but Iset blocking Itox, trying to make sure he has no escape. Squeezy falling now, and it's maybe playable for W. If they can find a few more shots here, Kihan, then who knows what could happen.
Yeah, who knows indeed, but Barbarian now coming on towards Itox. Is he able to put him down before Iset falls is the question. Actually, both of them dying, but a double kill in favor of Cashback does make this a 3 versus 2 situation. An airstrike now getting taken by Liberty, the RHM. It is the trump card up the sleeve of Cashback.
The HP is playable. The issue is the light. It's not playable against the light tank.
Let's see, Solo does take the bush position here and is going to play against 3 tanks that might peek, but I think Cashback are redeciding. Liberty driving towards the spotting tower as well, as the arty strike does get taken by Got You Baby here. No strike being used by Liberty to try and deny that as he is going to get the spotting tower, and I think as soon as that one is there, we might see Cashback make a move. That being said, maybe they don't want to. Maybe they just want to wait this one out, because currently they are leading in the tank department.
Yeah, but they could still close it if they want to, because the RHM, right? The RHM adds so much power to their team. You might think it's only one tank, but realistically, with its planes, with its ability to shoot and go into fade straight after, it's a extremely potent tank. And he also still has the strike and info. He just used the info.
All right. He just used the info, so he knows where everyone is and decides to actually drive a little bit closer. Obviously, the information tower does now fade, so the question marks start beginning again for Cashback. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, W, for them, the question marks in their eyes are going to be even bigger, simply because the opposing tanks have been unspotted for so long. It is also worth mentioning that both Aka and Liberty are actually 2-strikeable. But the thing is, Solo cannot go and collect the other strike. And here we see Cashback taking it once again. The reset comes through, but that was actually on Barbarian, who is very, very healthy. So we'll have to wait and see how this one actually plays out. Solo and Got You Baby need to do it now against the 50B of Aka. The shot connects actually by the 50B here. But yeah, Solo just getting torn to pieces, and Barbarian is peeling off.
Got You Baby is peeling off towards Liberty, though. It's going to potentially be a 1v1 Kihan after this. If Solo could aim at Liberty, that's exactly what he would need to do. But no, the ram from Liberty! What a play. Actually, what a play. The HC pen into the ram. Beautiful from Liberty. The strike will kill Liberty in return, but that was dank.
That was a GGWP moment by Liberty. Once again, an MVP-worthy performance coming out from him. That was absolutely like, chef's kiss. Crazy.
No, that was beautiful, and I think Baby's going to be kicking himself because he's like, oh, I went slightly too close, because he wanted to be as close as possible to the RHM, but at the same time, that enabled Liberty to do what he did. That was great. That was great. Without that, Kihan, who knows what's still possible? Because then you need the BZ of Barbarian to actually come in, right? And potentially get clipped by Gotchi Baby, and then anything is potentially playable. Potentially.
Yeah, turns out it was not, and turns out Barbarian is the only one left standing at the end of this battle, is going to be the smiling survivor with 13 tanks dying, but obviously Cashback taking the first round here, and I think kind of solidifying what we have been saying is that Cashback currently is looking like a very, very dangerous team. W almost able to get it here in round number 1, but yeah, MVP performance from Liberty.
As per usual. Yet again.
Yeah.
Another...
For him...
Another game, another dub. Good question, a little bit of positioning failures from Cashback at the end there, the 50B being close to the corner. Yeah, he wanted to avoid the strike, but would have been better if he just sat in the lower side, you know, like hiding and waiting for a potential repush. That was an oversight from Cashback. I think they also kind of just believed that they were winning.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, business as usual for Liberty. Just carrying. Who? Like I am. This must be,
okay,
you know...
I feel like you just had a...
Yeah, sometimes things happen, Ducky. Sometimes things happen. But for W, this must be very aggravating, right? Because you were so close, but tomorrow even, no one's going to remember how close you were to getting around. The result is what counts, and that is a loss.
Yeah. But let's be real, the fact that W almost got back in there was already a miracle.
And now we do see the predictions of actually the three of us. Moth trying to bully his way on towards the stream, but he definitely is going to be in the predictions. Actually, both of us saying 4-2. You're saying this is going to be a 4-1. So once again, kind of brutal prediction with that 4-1 scoreline. But yeah, Cashback has just been looking so good, man. Let's see. Round number 2 is about to start. And I think W, if they want to take anything away from this, they somehow need to surprise Cashback. The lineups are going to be an indication of what might happen here. Cashback currently with, I mean, obviously Liberty in the RHM, but then a Foch B, alright, 430U, CS63, double BZ75, and a 50B.
W, again with the V4s though, but this time bringing their own RHM, AX, CS, BAD, and BZ. I don't know if I like V4s that much on Cliffkey. Do you?
Not really. I mean, obviously frontally against them, it is kind of a pain, but on Cliff, more often than not, you're basically playing in a way where a turret is so useful because the engagements are not 100% of the time going to be happening frontally. Now the plane does come down, both of the RHMs missing exactly one medium, so W, they don't know about the CS, and Cashback, they don't know about the Inspire medium.
But it looks like Cashback gonna hold in 1-2, realizing they can't push it. They're just gonna be aiming at the hill with the 50B. Liberty will take it for free though, Kihan. And split map, usually not the best for the team that goes into 1-2 line. So now Click and Solo might actually aggress 1-2, but there's a 50B and a Foch B waiting there though, which is not that bad for the side of Cashback to deal with those V4s. A lot of shells available, a lot of perma-tracking potential.
I mean, the WV4 starting to aggress here, but I think Click and Solo are currently thinking better of it. Now the information tower gets used by Cashback, so the 50B and the Foch B are obviously going to know what the state of affairs is. Gotchi Baby, I think, is currently getting the strike, so that's going to even up the strikes available. Either team having exactly one. And currently, no one has lost any kind of HP, but I think that might be about to change because Squeezy starting to flank around. This is going to offer up even more options and possibilities for Crossfire. And I think W, they look kind of stuck.
They look stuck, and they are stuck, and now they're trying to break out of this surround. The double V4 going for those BZ, for that 50B, and the Forge B with the BZ on the outside. The Strike coming in as well, and Twilight is now on full reload in a second. But the damage taken here by W, Kihan, with the damage dealt very, very low. Cashback trying to retaliate by repushing 1-2, and it does look like they may be able to take the upper positions away here from the side of W, who are trailing in HP. They're trying to get back up on this slope, but I think they've just been beaten in speed by the side of Cashback, which has Squeezy and Aka coming from behind. Miku actually in a rock and a hard place in that batch at 25T, and Squeezy and Aka just getting pot shots at the back of these tanks from W. Twilight just inting in with the Forge B from behind. He wants to clip somebody. It's gonna be Itox to get deleted first. Little in the fray as well. Liberty crossing over in the meantime, and Cashback has gone for the all-in strategy at this point, but can they actually make it stick? That's another question.
Can they make it stick? That is the question, and it seems to me like they're able to. Click biting the dust. The Foshby now on reload currently, but healing back, and Frugo, the team captain himself, falling as Twilight gets picked up in the Fosh. So it's still somewhat playable, but the ults are stacked against W so much, man. It's like 2000 HP, one gun down, and the positions are crazy bad for the team in blue.
These positions are not playable. They are not playable. If they win from this, I will eat my shoe on stream.
All right. Yeah, I think the possibility of them winning is kind of low. Squeezy, I think, still has 4 shots available. He might choose to shoot a little bit at Miku. And yeah, the problem here for W is that all of their tanks are scattered below the positions of Cashback. So Cashback can dictate the engagements, can choose what they want to do. And W, they are essentially forced into a repush into Crossfire against hold down tanks if they really commit towards the donut once again, which I think is what they need to, because they can't realistically make it in towards like the 5 line with the ramps as well.
I guess they will go when the strike gets triggered, because they know that that is going to hurt very, very much so if they do decide to push up later. And it's actually just going to be Gotcha Baby by himself to come up in the beginning. Now the V4 moving as well. Clove trying to cross over, but he gets found out by the Barbarian rather quickly. And Liberty will take the strike. He will probably drop it on Gotcha Baby and Miku as well. That strike placement is going to be there. That's the circle coming in. Goodbye, Miku. Goodbye, Gotcha Baby in a second as well, as Aka picks it up. And now Solo and Cliff, the last 2 standing. And Cliff has been an absolute disaster for the side of W. But what a performance by the side of Cashback in return, though.
Yeah, Cashback here really dominating against W, who are unable to, you know, make miracles happen in round number 1 and realistically round number 2. Once again, kind of decided by openings, in my opinion, a little bit. And I want to emphasize on the fact like how bad the trades actually were there at the start of the game, with WV4 and BZ75 against Fosh-B and 50B. I think those 3 tanks together did 1 shot of damage on the Fosh. Meanwhile, the Fosh and the 50B were able to fully clip out. So already those trades, really, really not what you want.
I mean, they are what you want if you're Cashback.
Yeah.
And you could see how much the W pulls to the Forge B and the 50B and really didn't do much against them, Key. And as a result, Cashback was like, can we go? Can we go above them? Yes, we can go above them. And took everything away from them.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see Twilight, you called it out, running it down a little bit, you know, inting in, but at that point, it was already like so far done that it didn't matter. Like as soon as the Fosh-B does 1 more clip, there is no recovery anymore. There probably wasn't a recovery even before the Fosh-B started driving in. So, yeah, Cashback on W's map pick already taking it 2-0. Now we are going to their own map pick, which is Murovanka. And at this point in time, Ducky, I'm kind of worried for W.
I think that is fair to say, Kihan, that you're worried, but Murovanka has been a map where they were able to bring it back, for example, against Mafia in stage 1. That's a while ago now, but, you know, it's a map that they like.
Yeah. And the thing is, W still has a secret weapon that they could unveil. That one is called Jackifer, because that one, I think he is like top 3 in win rates in the entire OLS, like 72%. Maybe W is just waiting to, you know, lure Cashback into that wrong sense of security before the super weapon gets actually used.
The super weapon. That's funny, kid.
I mean, you know, it's so nice to actually have the full stats available and like look at them before the day, and then you can, you know, drop little bits and pieces of information like that. Obviously, the stats don't say he's a super weapon, but man, the win rate is irrefutable evidence.
What did you predict again?
I said 4-2, you said 4-1 for Cashback. Now I kind of wish I would have predicted 4-1 as well, actually.
Yeah, but that's hindsight 2020 though.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe W is able to pick up the pace, right? Because we've, like, over the past minute, I've been talking like they are not beaten, like they're beaten already, but they're not beaten, of course, yet. The match is still ongoing, and there is a reason why W is here. It's just so far they haven't really shown that much of why they have made it into OLS. They are a crazy good team in their own right. It's just that, you know, Cashback right now seems to be a level above them. Let's see about the lineups, however. And Cashback seems like they're going to switch it up a little bit here. That T57, actually double T57 as it seems. Okay, we haven't seen that one yet, I think. Together with double Bluska.
Panzer 7,
an Inspire medium, IS-7.
Oh
Panzer,
no, I wish they would
no.
have picked the Panzer 7. It's on my list of tanks that still need to be picked just for the memes. W in return though, EBR, double V4, triple Blitzka, Sente X. We have seen a 57 heavy before, Kian, on this map.
One, not double.
No, that's correct.
Actually, I think it was Hit and
That's
Run
also
playing
correct.
it.
The second time it was also
on
hit and
E1.
run. They played it
Yeah.
twice, north and south on E1. Different matches maybe, but they were the team.
Let's see how a Cashback are able to make it work, because the T57 obviously it does have a lot of crazy burst potential, like 1600 damage, and if you have the full ability that goes in like 4 seconds or something, 4.5, it's crazy. But you obviously need to be kind of close because the gun is iffy. Miku does get a good spot here and gets out with only taking 1 shot so far, and now it seems like Cashback are just going to keep pushing against the double Bliska of Frugo and Solo.
But Cashback just trying to overrun Frugo and Solo. They're going to continue. Frugo trying to back off from this engagement, Kihan. They did not expect this kind of move. And I think that's down to, you know, no RHM, not that quick info. Frugo does make it back, Toki. And so does Solo. So they have something to play from, at the very least.
They have something to play from, but now Cashback, they're trying to find something else to push on. It seems to be Click in that V4, who's taking a lot of damage right now, down towards 621. I said is now going to push Klurf in the Bruskavica, and now I think W, they want to retaliate, but they don't have that many resources left to do it with. 4,000 or 3,000 HP advantage for Cashback at this point in time.
Big swing and a miss there from Klurf, not connecting on iSide. Itox actually just going in. They want to make something happen here, but can this actually be the something they need? The D57 actually clipping towards the tanks from W, and Itox try to make the one-man army move, the juggernaut move, but he's going to be put down rather quickly as Cashback take another objective. That is Itox out, and this kind of engagement is not what you'd like with an EBR. Now Squeezy pushing back up on towards Gotchi Baby. Klurf bouncing or missing against I said is not ideal either, and the hopes and dreams of W for a return on Muravanka are slowly disintegrating in front of our eyes. But they gotta be careful though from the side of Cashback. They're starting to show just a little bit here, Kihan, as Liberty falls. Baby still alive, still surviving, and before we say it, they might be coming back. Miku finds I said, has Cashback thrown the battle? Potentially.
Potentially, because there is still the wild card of Miku behind enemy lines in that EBR. Click surviving on 88 HP as the Inspire medium finally gets shut down, but the T57 falls in turn, and Cashback, absolutely, I think that was a bit of a throw.
No, that was most definitely a throw. Most definitely a throw. They went for the kill, Kihan, and they went for, well, let's finish this. and then they got finished in return.
Exactly. Signs of life from a W here. I mean, at some point during this first Moromanka round, both of us were like, all right, yeah, seems like, you know, Cashback have this.
Cashback should.
Turns out they didn't.
They should have it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real, they should have it at that point. I mean, they're going to be very unhappy with that. W is going to be throughout excited. Winning a round like that is always crazy, you know, it's like, you're losing, and then a few things happen, and all of a sudden you're winning.
Yeah, it looked really grim for W until it somehow didn't. Let's take a look at the damage numbers, and turns out those T-57s, they can be a menace, but, you know, frontally against V4s seems like not as much, because you do need to hit like the lower plate, or you need to hit that cupola even with the heat ammunition, and it seems like they just weren't close enough to do that reliably. And on the other side of the board, I mean, Clerf here with the top damage despite those 2 bounces that you were talking about. But those were actually the only 2 bounces he had the entire game. And the fact also remains that, you know, Got You Baby once again with a good job of staying alive and providing stats for his team.
Yeah, I think it was Got You Baby they were trying to kill and didn't succeed at either. And it all looked over after Itox's, you know, Juggernaut play in the V4, and then Clerf bouncing or missing twice against Iset. You're like, this is painful. This is painful. But then they somehow win, and they're back in position where, you know, win one more round and it's 2-2. Would that be 100% deserved? Probably not. Is it possible? For sure.
Yeah. And do they care if it is deserved or not? Probably also no. Maybe they even have a different opinion whether it would be deserved for them or not. But yeah, Cashback, kind of with an uncharacteristic throw from them. So far, they've seemed like a team like, hey, whenever they get an advantage, they make it so hard for the opposing team to like be able to find a way back in towards the round. But here, yeah, extremely uncharacteristic, just giving openings, offering up kills. And the thing was also, Cashback, they had so many low HPs at some point, so good, you know, HP management, but it carries you only so far until some tanks start, you know, falling. And I think the double T-57 having about 2k damage in between the two of them, not enough.
But they're also not really good for that engagement, though. You know, when you're pushing past, they work best like close range. Once you start going for that longer range engagement, not that great.
Exactly. So let's see if Cashback will adjust back away from those double T-57s. And it seems like an adjustment is going to happen, mostly on the W side, though. Clerf bringing the Tsak together with double V4, double Bruska, I'm still not entirely sure how to say that, and double Batshot.
Cashback in return, though. Double 277 and 97 at T-57 and AX, and double Bliskovica. That is looking like another cap attempt.
That indeed does look like a cap attempt, and we'll have to wait and see how W's Tsak is going to stack up against this lineup, because realistically there are 2 Juggernaut TDs, and that's kind of it for Clerf to be useful against. Obviously, he does have the plane ability, so most of the tanks by Cashback are gonna get spotted at the start. Only I said not lit at this point in time, and W are like, all right, you're going towards cap, well, we do as well.
The V4 is being pushed by the Bliskovicas and then the Batshot, so 6-man hit squad here down 1-2 with the Tsak behind. And my biggest issue here, Kihan, is the Tsak for this fight.
Yeah, the Tsak is not really going to be able to do a whole lot. That being said, W now with the overpush here, and I think they're going to focus on towards Barbarian in that Bliskovica, who just gets bullied away. Itox the first focus for Cashback, however, on the upper side as well, down towards one shot, down and out. The Bliskovica of Barbarian getting picked up in return, though. This is a free-for-all with Cashback leading in the HP department, but the kills in favor of W.
The kills in favor of W, but that is not going to matter too much. Even the Tsak still carrying 1900. Liberty about to come off reload, picks up another kill. Can he get the full clip out before he dies? Potentially the case. That would be huge. Twilight now trying to come in as well with the X. Gotcha Baby chasing. 3K separate the two. Another kill found for the side of Cashback and Twilight. You can see him run, you can see him hide, trying to dodge Gotcha Baby for as long as he can. Not connecting a shot there as well. Solo gives a good one in return as well. So maybe Gotcha Baby and the rest of W can still do something here, but now Klurf just getting a little bit violated and then that the sack, but Twilight falling in return. They need to blow up Gotcha Baby's bot shot now. If he gets to reload, that would be huge, and they seem to be capable of doing it right now. As I said, is on his left, little bit to ram, and I said to probably finish the job is actually not before Aka does it. And now the 3v2 though with Click and Solo in those TDs, they could still do some miracles here, Kihan, but they're gonna have to pray for the rest of this match.
Let's see how it goes as Solo and Click both with their abilities active right now, but actually it does run out for Click. Aka now engaging against Solo. Good first shot here. And yes, the Buskavitsa still has the ability active, and Aka is actually on towards one shot, but I said should be able to 1v1 Click here, and then it is a 3 versus 1 because Solo is not able to kill Aka as the one shot that he is. Down towards one shot and probably down to the grave as well. Cashback finding a round on Muravanka, 3-1.
I mean, you could argue that Cashback should have found 2 rounds on Muravanka, but they found 1. And this one, I really don't think that Tsack did that much. And going for this fight with a Tsack, okay, maybe if Itox doesn't get permatracked on the top, who knows? But in this case, you saw one of those V4s basically disintegrate because of that.
Yeah, and that was done entirely without a Tsack on the side of Cashback, right? So, you know, it's a nice gimmick, but that's kind of it then. And the fact also is that, yeah, W were able to like eliminate the Juggernaut TDs and like the Inspire Medium and the T57 Heavy Tank, but look at that. All the while, the 277s, especially from Cashback, were just able to farm untouched.
Which is funny because their highest DPM tanks are all on the bottom, right? Bliska, Vitzes ×2, and then the X, and then even the 57 not getting too much out. So really good stuff there. Miko only getting his 5 shots out, which is arguably not enough for a batch up. But the Tsack also 1.2k damage, not really impactful.
No, like, and it looks so cool when the Tsack starts opening up, but against like tanks that are HP boosted, like we see in Onslaught, if you do a full clip with like the standard ammo, I think you do around 900 damage, and well, if the Bliska shoots once, you do 800 damage at 50 meters. So yeah, doesn't really do that much in terms of damage. Anyway, that is Muravanka also done and dusted, and it's looking kind of grim for W. Currently match point for a Cashback, and we're headed in towards what arguably is Cashback's best map, actually.
Yeah, I think it's over, Key, because it's Ghost Town. Rough
times if you're holding it with a W, and obviously all the people spamming the GOAT emojis in chat are going to be happy right now, because for Cashback, apart from that one Muravanka round that, you know, was, let's be real, a big throw, they have looked clean almost. Like, obviously, rounds like the one we just saw are not, like, clean per se, but I think they just played well. They recognized what was happening. They recognized the win conditions, which tanks to focus first. And, for example, don't really care about the Tsack. If it comes too close, we can do a ton of damage with ramming and don't even need to use our shots. So, yeah, Cashback dominating this match so far. And if it is up to them, they're probably not done with that either.
Right, Ghost on this map where they almost always at least pick up one round. So even if I feel like if W wins this one, they're losing the next.
First of all, let's see if Cashback are actually going to pick a Leopard 1, because they've been liking that one on Ghost Town, but like these specialized lineups coming out from Cashback, they do make them a little bit vulnerable when it comes to super aggressive in-their-face pushes, because the meat on the team then just isn't there to receive such a push. Let's see. Cashback, all right. Leo 1, as I said. Double RHM, however, at this point in time, together with one E4 one Batchat, 1277, and the Mighty Mouse.
W in return, still rocking the WV4, the triple V4s, the EBR, the double bat, and the double 60p, so one less V4. So make that one more V4 again. So Cashback is again playing that style of a little bit of everything, with very little to hold the city, but hoping that the double light can bring them across the finish line.
Yeah, and that double light must be like very, very hard to play against if you're an EBR player, because as soon as one of them gets a plane on you, you're lit for like a big amount of time, and then there is a second one that can do the same thing. So I think Miku is going to not have the most fun of rounds to play. That being said, he gets sent to the artist strike immediately, and Frugo and Itox with those V4s get sent close towards the caps. Little in the Batchat does get spotted out, so he's going to tuck into the northwestern corner here. He's going to stand behind a bush, and he's going to have a lot of backup with that Leopard 1, with that RHM that is also hovering around somewhere. And W, they don't really care about the cap. They care about getting the crossfire, and Little might be caught off guard here. One shot, so he doesn't have enough in his clip anymore to kill Miku with a single one, actually.
Leo trying to reinforce the position as Little now realizes he's got to do something. He's trying to make it on towards Miku, but he has only one more shot. Like you said, he is not able to kill him, and now he's going to be reloading. He's facing off against Klurv, though, trying to extend his life for as long as possible, but he is down and out. W found a really good kill there. Key finding Little in the Batchat, and I said now forced towards the city, where Cashback is trying to make some counter plays against the tanks from W, with knowing, of course, there's 3 W tanks out of the fire right now. Frugo down towards the one-shot. Squeezy, it's not him, but I said with the Leo to pick up the kill. And yeah, Kihan, they got Little, but look where they're losing in return. In the city, they seem to be losing everything.
Yeah, they seem to be losing everything, and there's no low HP targets at this point in time for W to pick up. It seems Click falling in return, and now the guns are actually favoring Cashback here. Yes, Squeezy does get bullied a little bit by Solo, who is probably going to get another big shot here. Never mind, he puts it into Barbarian, and now Klurv coming in with the Batchat fully loaded, trying to do what he can, but around him, his teammates are dying, and Cashback on a victory march at this point in time, possibly, as Klurv is the next one to get picked up, and after that it will only be 2 tanks remaining, one of those being a very, very healthy V4, but against 6 tanks from Cashback, that's not happening.
No, it's not happening. Liberty there finds the kill on the Batchat, and now it's just Itox and Miku left standing, and for W, still a lot to work on Kihan, but they don't have much time remaining for the work in progress to come into a full construction and a finished product, because losing this, time is ticking for W. Cashback, very solid performance, let's be real. They did it, they were on point for 1. I don't remember what you predicted, but I'm going to cheat and look.
I predicted 4-2, so you were the only correct one, I think, because Morph was also 4-2.
You had 0 right predictions so far today. No, that was really solid from Cashback. Not much else to be said about that, I think. Solid performance from them, solid strats, solid plays, not afraid of reacting. One round where, yeah, they let it slip. They went for the kill, and you know, maybe they were up 2-0 in pretty simple fashion, Key, for their likings. So they probably got a bit confident, maybe overconfident in that first round of Muro. But then refocused on the second, refocused on Ghost Town as well, and I mean, all around good performance.
All around good performance, and maybe losing that one round is possibly even good for Cashback, in the sense that they do realize, like, hey, even when we're up, we cannot slip up. We cannot, you know, offer up possibilities for the opposing team to get back into the round. So I don't, like, if anything, that maybe is a learning experience for the team of Cashback, and most importantly, it didn't cost them anything today. The match didn't go to tiebreaker, so W is gonna go home with 0 points, while Cashback actually do take 4, the full 4 actually. And you said it, time is ticking for W. They really need to get some points on the board if they want to make it into the finals. Meanwhile, We do have the next match also today. It's going to be the last one. It's going to be Storm versus Mafia. And in this one, there are two teams currently in the top 4 playing. So there isn't really that clear of an underdog story here. Which one do you favor right now?
I think Storm still, though, favor. They've been looking like a unit throughout the entire series, where Mafia is a bit more hit or miss. I think Storm has been consistent throughout the series. I think they deserve to be favored.
I think so too. I think Storm has looked very, very good. All of that being said and done, though, I think that's quite enough yapping from the two of us for the time being. We'll see you with the last match of the day after some replays.
What? What's happened? You.
Let's move out.
Ready to fire.
Kaboom! Let's destroy this lunatic.
He's back.
You just saw it, the Waffenträger event is still live, and if you want to, you can get this guy here as your commander, so he doesn't only scream at you while he's casting, but also while you are playing. I definitely recommend to do so.
That's crazy, little bro. You even gonna you even have a special appearance in this commander. A little spoiler.
I do know.
You're like, literally, I'm the only one, Kian, that thought about you while making his lines, and you dare.
Actually, Skill asked me it as well, but maybe it didn't go past some approvals. But yeah, I'm finally in the game, at least as a voice line, so that made me very, very happy as well. But yeah, Ducky, Storm against Mafia is the up-and-coming match. We already talked about it a little bit. Storm probably a little favored, but I wouldn't put it past Mafia to pull a victory here either.
No, but I am all aboard the Storm wagon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but Mafia, it's like, I don't find them like hyper consistent either. It's like they always do something like pretty good, but never like extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. And Storm, obviously, with that incredible lower bracket run that they had, it was a Cinderella story in the OLC number 3, locking in their spot in the WCI in Chengdu later this year. They were kind of a dark horse, I think, during that OLC number 3, but since then, I think they have sort of carved out their place to now have a reputation. And you can see here the team of Mafia that, yeah, I think spotty, but they did look stronger than W, I think.
Yeah, and who's your favorite player on Mafia?
On Mafia,
Picking favorites now. It's inspired by the tier lists.
Oh, by the tier lists. So if we're going by the hairline, then definitely the man in the middle.
Dude, that reminds me, I need to make a poll. Which one of the casters has the best hairline? He had Daki or Muff.
Or Adam. I believe we're going to see Adam next week.
That's
again.
unfair, dude.
Anyway, community predictions actually vastly in favor of Storm. Like, yes, I do see them favored, but this is a little much, maybe 80%.
Yeah, a little much. I would pull it down to like maybe 60%.
Oh, 70, but definitely not 80. But it was a democratic vote with 80% going with Storm here, and the Fortnite dancer himself, Minairos, actually being the showcase. And we do see 3.2k DPG, pretty good. KD of 2.2 is very good, actually, and pen rate 85 is also not too shabby. And he does actually play like different kinds of tanks, like Batchat, E4, E50M. Those are vastly different in terms of playstyle.
Yeah, kind of proving himself as a bit of a jack of all trades, though. But if I think of Moneros, I mainly think of him in the Batchat key hand still for the go-to tank. And then Conrad, I swear to dude, look at the top left of his hair, dude. No, listen, I swear to God, for the longest time I thought he had like a buzz cut there, you know, like they cut like a little X in it, and it's only like recently I realized it's just hair.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Like it looks like it was cut in there, you know what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but
would look cool though.
I mean, he does look very confident here, and he has every right to do so, just talking about the stats that he's putting up currently. Maps, though, Storm wants to play Studzianki, so a map that we haven't seen yet today, and Mafia is answering with Ensk, so 2 new maps, at least for this stream. Then we would go into Ghost Town, if it goes there, and if we need a decider, that one would be Pilsen.
Alright, time to pull up the statistas, yeah? Studzianki, a map for Mafia that they've played 2 times with 0% win ratio. where Storm has 4 times and 100% win ratio. Then Ensk is a very popular map for Mafia, if I remember well. They have 5 battles on it with 60%. I think Cashback ruined their win ratio on it. Where Storm has 2 with 100% on it. And then third map was Ghost Down, Ghost and Ghost and Ghost Down, where Mafia has never played it before, and Storm has only played it once.
Did they win or lose there?
They won. Storm has a barely incredible win ratio on a lot of maps.
And that must be, you know, kind of scary going into this matchup if you're Mafia, because, well, you're starting off on a map with which Storm is very okay. I mean, they picked it. Of course, they're going to be okay with it. And then your own pick is a map that also Storm has no problems playing. Third map, same thing as well. And I mean, that kind of leads us to, is there going to be a tiebreaker? Well, if Storm keeps putting up those victory numbers, then probably not.
I mean, like, I think you and me agree on, and the rest of the community as well, we all favor the boys from Storm in this matchup. I think that is also just the correct way to look at the things as they are. They have been, IMO, the more consistent team throughout this series. So, if anything, it's on Storm to prove their words in that regard, that they are, you know, worthy of our predictions. And of course, for Mafia, they want to pick up those points, because 4 points is always nice.
4 points is always nice, but the thing is, today the teams in 5th and 6th place both already lost. So the pressure isn't that huge for them at this point in time, but obviously getting you know, a safety padding for yourself to not drop into those 5th and 6th positions would be more than nice. It would be really good. Phase 1 scores, I mean, they did meet in the first stage of the OLS. There, Storm taking the victory 3-1.
3-1 is not possible here.
Of course.
4-1 is.
That is entirely correct.
Which is maybe what I predicted. No, it's not. I predicted 4-2.
I think I also went with like 4-2 or 4-3.
4-3.
I was kind of on a bit of hopium there, because I was hoping for you know, more content. Let's see though if either team is going to give us that. Studzianki, we saw it I think 2 days ago on the Tuesday stream, and there it was a fairly quick affair. Studzianki is one of those maps that, even though it is so large, actually most of the action does happen around the cap, because this is also where like the POIs are located. Let's see. Mafia playing in orange, and actually we did see an MVY being played by Hit and Run successfully, with Piotr there putting, I think, 5k damage or something. So a bit of a pocket pick, but MVY 277, 1 Batchat, double V4, 1 E4, and YOLO with the RHM.
Storm, on the other hand, double light on Studzianki. That's what they've done before, if I remember well. An E4, an E3, a Gorilla, K91, and 60p. I think this was against like W that they were doing something like this, and W tried to cap it like 5 V4s.
Yeah, and it completely didn't work, so Storm had to push off. W had to push off the cap, and Storm was just able to completely capitalize on that. The plane goes down here for the team of Storm and Mafia. 2 tanks only spotted on Mafia's lineup. I think they were trying to avoid it by driving backwards. And Storm, a lot more tanks spotted on their lineup. Let's see, Marcel driving towards the A-line in that MVY. I mean, Piotr had a really good game here. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that was the small gun.
Yeah, I mean, Piotr was playing with the small gun. I didn't recognize Marcel's gun that he was using. The reloads should tell you when he actually decides to shoot. Minero's getting spotted out. Oof. Big miss there. It was a really good play. And so Jacob taking some damage as well. And so far, Mafia having a good start here. And I think, yeah, what I don't like here from Storm is this is recycled.
Yeah, it is kind of what they used to do already, and Mafia currently profiting a little bit with the damage on the Gorilla. Yuzek now taking damage as well in that E3, and I just double confirmed it is actually the small gun on the MBY, so 360 alpha for him, but good gun handling. And Conrad now starting to push through the middle of the map, is going to get closer. He is going to get himself in towards the position of the artillery strike. Let's see if he's going to pay any HP for this cross here, but I don't think he's even spotted for that. So only the arty strike actually getting taken is going to tell the team of Storm that Conrad has made the way here.
And for Mafia, that's another objective taken, but look at the repush in the south though. Double light, and I cannot tell what the other thing is. The gorilla, and big damage immediately on Kono as well. And he's now running away, taking more damage, so Jacob needs to be careful though when that gorilla dropped to below half HP. But Kono in return, 1056 HP remaining, and Storm were not complacent. That's the right way to be. But you gotta remember though, Key, they're still down a little bit of HP, but they have found another target. It's YOLO and the RHM getting caught out by everybody. I think Jacob also blasted him for 1k. He's down towards 200. One more shot on YOLO will put him in the grave. Do they have anybody at all that is capable of doing it? I don't think so. YOLO gonna be hiding behind a building because he cannot run any further. And that is beautiful for Storm, actually.
Yeah, and the thing is, Lukin still has a plane available as well in that RHM, so YOLO is stuck there and doesn't even know it. Does Lukin use the second plane here on the RHM? He does, and this means that YOLO bites the dust. First blood coming out from Storm, and it looked a little bit shaky at the start of the game, but now they are erupting into action here because Mafia is starting to push the cap. This means that Jordan wants to engage against Conrad, but decides not to do so. But in the back lines, Profuse and Barkis actually are taking a lot of damage, and DJ with that K91 DPM laying down the law. Shot after shot is going to connect.
Yeah, the K91 will thrive in this engagement. He'll just put in shot after shot. Conrad will fall, and this move in the south with Conrad taking the strike, bit of unlucky timing because right after came Storm with their own repush in the south, catching the Pacha, but then more importantly catching the RHM for almost the entirety of his HP. And the result of this is that Storm is just going to win this. Pretty simple after all, even though it looked like they were in a rather rough situation, to be honest.
Yeah, indeed. And now the focus fire getting switched here from Marcel on towards Orzek, who just blows up. Marcel himself only on a 2-shot for the E4 of Lucky here, who seems to be currently tracked. But yeah, Jordan fighting for his life, but he's holding on and holding strong. And the amount of guns for Storm currently is the problem for Mafia, together with the fact that they don't really have HP and starting to run out of tanks as well. So Storm, it looked a little bit slow to start off the round from them, but then very controlled to finish it off.
Good stuff. Good stuff from Storm. Mafia gonna be kicking themselves with the timings there. Conrad leaving, the south repush happening, the RHM getting caught as well. It was, for them, it was disaster after disaster. But that comes to be that Storm just did those really, really good repushes.
Yeah, and the thing is also, like, the 2 light tanks by Storm, that actually worked out really well. They caught out the RHM, like, on the cross, made him a 1-shot. He needed to hide behind the house, and then, you know, he got replaned and just died. And when you lose the light on the outside like that, you need to basically answer somewhere else on the map immediately by completely over pushing. But the thing was, the bad shot was also there where the RHM was getting caught out there, took a lot of damage, and then realistically, Mafia didn't have the assets anymore to over push as much as they needed to do realistically, because playing against 2 lights is over time a losing battle.
Jacob actually top damage with the Gorilla is a bit of a surprise there. I mean, Marcel and the Y being top damage, it doesn't matter that much for Mafia. I mean, they tried to make that repush happen because they felt like they had to do something, but Jacob still being top damage is pretty good though.
Yeah, I think he had some good shots on towards the Batchat and the RHM on the offside, and then he was able to provide like fire support over big distance, which is what the Gorilla excels at, especially when the ability is active and you're essentially pinpoint accurate. So yeah, good job by Sir Jacob, able to make the Gorilla work, which a lot of players have been struggling with, right? A lot of the times the Gorilla gets picked and then at the end it's kind of there in a weird situation because it cannot really push and hasn't contributed yet.
Push, though.
But here, yeah, here it was good.
I mean, he decided to push the south with it, and then I think he went unspotted and blasted the RHM. And then, of course, once the RHM is no longer a threat, you're just blasting those people when they start peeking out of the factory, which they are forced to do at some point.
Yeah, you get those side shots. And I think Alpha Booster plus being pinpoint accurate. And I think at that kind of distance, even though it does lose pen over distance, you just use AP for the side of those pushing TDs. And you're just going to have a bloody good day, to be honest.
And I think he did. And that puts Storm up 1-0. I was worried about the recycle, but here the predictions, Kihan him off with 4-3. I went with a 4-2. Kihan, why 3 rounds for the side of...
Yeah, I thought Mafia was going to present themselves in a bit of a different light than what they're currently doing. But honestly, it has been so far kind of clean for Storm. Obviously, there still is a long way to go in this match, but right now, Storm looking like a very, very, controlled team most of all, because it's very easy in Onslaught, I think, to lose control and to lose track of a game and what's exactly happening. But here in this round on Studzianki, they just looked like everyone at all times was aware.
Round number 2 of Studzianki coming in, though. Mafia is gonna have to mentally reset after that. I think they'll put it down to timing, Kian, because that's the easiest thing to blame.
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't be entirely wrong to blame timing. It was crap. Now though, I think we're just about to see the lineups for the second round, and Mafia coming in once again with an RHM, an E4, double V4, a 430U, a Batchat, and a 277.
Storm again with the Gorilla, again with the double lights. Similar lineup. Is it exactly the same minus the Canadian 1 plus an AX?
I think so. It looks very similar. So the idea is probably going to be the same thing. And even though it sounds weird to say, last time or last round, the repush with double light plus Gorilla was a very, very effective thing to do. So I wonder if Mafia are able to adjust and able to make it work so that they don't get caught off guard. This time, the spots by the light tanks, to be honest, not so good. Mafia once again doing a good job of avoiding the initial spots. Only 3 tanks spotted on their side. I think on Storm it was like 2 to 3 as well. And let's see. HP advantage currently a little bit for Mafia, but realistically any kind of shot would make that disappear. Marcel with the 430U trying to reset DJ in the Centurion Action X. Doesn't connect, and now in should come and does the full information because DJ pops the information tower.
So all of things spotted. They know that the south is again similar story as round number 1, right? 277 batch at RHM. Mafia did not really change their setup on the south. Again, they'll take the south. Will Conrad again go take the strike and then get repushed in the south? What do you think?
Well, it looks like kind of last round, right? Minairos does get spotted now, however, and Conrad makes his way through the middle towards the RT strike. That means, though, that YOLO and Kono are going to be kind of alone again, and I think this time they are leaving early. This time Conrad getting spotted early as well, but Jordan currently still reloading in the 60 TP, so he's probably not going to be able to dish out a shot of damage. And Minairos here on a journey.
He's gonna take a further back position though, where he can actually still spot from. But with this Storm lineup, Kian, in general, they're not really capable of too many aggressive plays though.
No, they have a lot of specialized tanks, and the specialization of those tanks isn't really the close range brawl. This is why we see them being a little passive, but I think Mafia this time is recognizing that they cannot completely misstep and get the wrong timings. They are respecting that now. The fact of the matter remains, though, Jordan so far the only tank with damage taken. So if this were to tie, then Mafia would win currently, but there is obviously still a lot of time for both teams to make plays.
Yeah, but still, this lineup with a gorilla, it doesn't push well. I mean, again though, Mafia gave up the south key, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of.
Yeah, no, they are losing some map control here right now. Oof, good blind shot coming out on towards Minairos, but actually the punishment is there from both Lucan and Minairos here on towards the TDs of Mafia that were aiming towards this middle part of the map. Now, the question for me is, what exactly is Minairos going to do against the 277? Because realistically, he can be very, very annoying now. He can go close, he can shoot in towards the back of Conrad, as he just does. And this actually opens up the push as Jordan comes in. Minairos is going to help a little bit with the DPM, but now Mafia are trying to retaliate. Double V4 starting to come in. Jordan bearing the brunt of the damage, but Conrad ever oh so low.
Conrad low, but it's actually Profuse that bites the bullet. He falls first. Minairos now forced to back away. And that's where the Gorilla does add some flavor, some spice to this meal that Storm is cooking, because he gets those shots in over and over again. I think there he bounced onto Marcel, but he's also just forced into the hole. Not sure why Marcel decided that this was the play he opted for, because that is just a little bit of free damage. Yuzek now coming in position, takes a shot of damage himself. The E4 also of Orchek needs to be careful. He's going to get pressured by Lucky, which will be a 1v1 that Lucky should win. And now Mafia kind of stuck in this lower ground, Keyhand.
Indeed, they are kind of stuck, and YOLO now needs to make a play. Good shot by Lucan with HE to bring the enemy RHM just a little bit lower in HP. Good plane coming out as well. That's going to give the position away that YOLO has currently, and YOLO needs to be careful because DJ is re-pushing with that Centurion AX. He does have a lot of DPM, but Kono would be there to profit off of that with the Batchat. DJ starting to drive in. Kono with a good first shot. Is he going to be for a second one is the question. No, DJ is starting to aim, but now the re-push coming out from Mafia, and they have reinforcements, and a lot of them. Oh, Lucan might get caught here.
He's going to go zip past though. You know, he spots out all of them. He zips past. Minairos now coming from above again, and it's just right now it looks like Storm is dominating the pace, but the HP was even for a brief second there now back into the favor of Storm altogether, who's starting to repush this middle area. But there is the threat though of Kono in the Batchat. That high DPM medium, I think you can say a high DPM medium at this point, is going to chase down Lucan in the RHM. Kono getting some good shots in, but DJ, Sir Jacob, and Minairos seem to have the rest of the Storm of the Mafia team dead to rights at this moment in time. As YOLO falls, Minairos and Jacob should be able to clean up Barkis as well, and Lucan will probably fall here, Kihan, but is that going to be enough?
It remains to be seen as Barkis gets put down towards a one-shot, but at this point in time, it's only 2 tanks remaining for the lineup of Storm here. Actually, a 2v3 situation. Good ram coming out from Kono, who still seems to have some shots available. He goes down towards a one-shot, and he's able to kill the T100 before possibly falling himself. He will try to play Ring Around the Rosie while he gets the support of his team against the Gorilla, and Sir Jacob is forced to drive in here against unspotted enemy tanks. Good shot on towards the 277 to finish it off, but that means he's reloading, and the Batchat isn't doing so. Instead, the Batchat is clipping out, so Mafia are going to answer on Studzianki. It's going to be 1-1.
1-1 in a round where I thought Storm was on the upper hand at some point, but Mafia manages to bring it back, and most importantly, I think they won the factory area, which counts for a lot, because we were watching the south, but the whole time they were winning in the north.
Yeah, there were a lot of like messy engagements, and I think it boils down to the fact as well that Mafia had a good reaction towards the 60 TP and T100 pincering that 277 in the hole, right? They were able to retaliate with the 268 B4s that ended up taking a lot of damage, but the 277, most importantly, stayed alive, and we can see it paid off over 3k damage and 2 kills for Conrad. And yeah, once again, Sir Jacob was able to get out a lot of damage, but not enough this time.
The rest of the team not doing that great. Lucky only 1.9. He was in the north full HP the whole time. I would have expected more from that E4, because look at this counterpart on the enemy team. Orchek with 5.3. So something going wrong there for that E4 player from the side of Storm. But 1-1, respectable result for both these teams in Studzianki. going on to Ensk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ensk is obviously a different kind of beast. Ensk sometimes gets played slowly as well, but in every round of Ensk that we have seen, and probably in every single one that we will see, at the end of the day, it does come down to close range brawling with your opponent. So you can try to dance around the facts, but at the end of the day, it is heavily armored tanks with big guns shooting each other. Currently, mostly a lot of TDs, although the 705 also a very, very viable pick.
Viable picks all around. Ensk should be Mafia, though. This is, if they're going to make the difference somewhere, it should be on Ensk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree. Also, Ghost Town for me is always kind of a 1-1 map, somehow, in my mind. So Ensk might or might not be the difference maker. I mean, we do have enough maps lined up to definitely find out who is going to be the first 1 to 4 rounds here. But yeah, Ensk could go 2-0 easily. It just remains the question as to who actually is going to pick it up. The other thing as well, like we were super critical of Mafia after round number 1, but I think in round number 2 on Sturzianki, they were able to, to make some magic happen.
Yeah, they were able to win in the brawl, which is the most important aspect, I think, right there, that they were able to win that chaotic fight, and is very good for them as well. They needed that round 2-0 would be harsh key, especially after the round 1 timings that they had. So I'm quite okay with this, but I'm very curious to see what kind of style of Ensk we're going to get between these two.
I am also very curious. I think both of those teams are very capable of just immediately starting the aggression in the middle of the map around the cap, but I think both of those teams also could go for like a slower, more methodical play, go for something maybe cheeky. I'm still waiting to see a Jagdpanzer on Ensk. I don't think we've had that yet.
Jagdpanzer on Ensk? I think we had, no?
You think so?
I feel like we did.
Maybe Monster? He would seem like the kind of guy to play it. Or Piotr.
We've definitely had Jagdpanzers.
Yeah. We definitely had Jagdpanzers. I just wasn't sure about Ensk. But I think it's fair to say we are probably going to see something like V4s or E3s, maybe WZTDs, something like this. And indeed, Mafia coming in with 1 E4, double E3, double V4, a Foch B, and a 705A. So 6 TDs coming out from Mafia.
Storm bringing 5 TDs of their own, an double E3, an double E4, a Wheezy TD, a Batchat, and a 705A. So opting for the 1 less TD for that, a little bit of extra DPM in the Batchat 25T if Mineros can find a good engagement somewhere throughout the brawl, that could be very, very important.
Yeah, and you said it, Minaris needs to find a good engagement. I think on Ensk, that's a lot harder than, for example, on Sturzianki. So let's wait and see what exactly is going to happen. Obviously, no light tanks across the board. This means that the spots that are coming out currently are the tanks themselves seeing each other. Some initial shots being fired by Mafia, but none find the target and penetrate or do damage. Barkis needs to be a little bit, careful with his E3 here. But at the same time, Yuzek obviously being careful too. So Jacob aiming down too, and now a little bit of aggression coming out from Storm here in the city. They want to utilize that Batchat, that mobility to their advantage, but Minaris actually in the city takes a shot of damage. So a bit of a tax, a bit of a toll paid for strolling too far.
But for Storm, they haven't really taken any objectives right now. You see Mafia taking the strike. What has Storm done in return? Outside of not very much. I mean, they haven't taken the info, they haven't taken the strike, they haven't really pushed up the city. They're very complacent at this moment in time.
Yeah, they are, and they have also taken damage on that Batchat. And if there is one tank on the field right now that doesn't want to take damage, obviously no one wants to, but the Batchat is this crucial, like, late game assassin. And to be able to do that, Minairos needs all the HP he can get to have an impact in the later stages. So it does hurt Storm a lot that he was the one to take the first kind of damage. And so Jacob now also taking a shot in his E3. So initial, well, can we call them trades? Probably no. Initial donations here by Storm.
They do get the strike, the back off. They still didn't take the info, which was available, but they're still so passive. Like, what is the trigger here for Stormkey? They're just gonna slowly get chipped away, in my opinion, by Mafia with these current positions.
Yeah, I mean, Minairos here, that is actually a pretty cool, like, spotting position. So his gun mantlet does go above the rubble pile. So he does have the information on the cross, but that doesn't help Barkis currently, who took one by Uzek in towards the front of his E3. He's not now going to bow out of this duel. He is saying, Uzek looking too much like a Giga Chad. I'm going to relocate.
Another strike will be available for Conrad. YOLO now pushing up for the info point as well. Minairos is coming in on a 1-2 line. He's gonna go for the info, I guess. So finally they will get the information required. The cap does get started. And Conrad needs to strike something.
Conrad needs to strike something. First of all, Sir Jacob does not see the E4, however, and that's going to enable a shot in towards the front of that E3. The E4, obviously same gun, 375 APCR pen. That is very, very yummy. Looking, taking one in the city as well. So slowly but surely, Mafia is edging ahead in the HP department simply by trading better.
Another strike on Sir Jacob as well, who is starting to become the linchpin here for Storm, right? He's 3 strikeable without ability. Let's say 4 strikes. And they can honestly just sit here and strike him over and over again. I mean, what is Storm going to do about it?
Well, Storm currently is rotating a little bit away from the other strike that's up for grabs. I think they're trying to set up for some kind of repush, but realistically they are on a timer. At this point in time, Mafia doesn't really have like a strike either. So they do need to commit someone or something within like the next minute to be able to reset the cap. Never mind, I think, 30 seconds on the strike timer. Is that enough? Together with the 15 seconds that it takes to like capture the strike, but Lukin could be resetting anyway. So I think actually Mafia need to do something here.
Good shot there from Sir Jacob. The HE reset from Marcel will stop it, but here comes the rotations, Doki, across the rail. 758 pushing up on the 8-9 line. It looks like they're abandoning Sir Jacob to, in return, hopefully find Conrad, YOLO, and Kono, but they're still very, very far away from these positions, and there should be Mafia rotations coming in as well.
Let's wait and see. Both tanks sending more tanks to the green here. But right now, Storm, I think, getting the better shots. That being said, Castica's YOLO putting one in towards Lukin. And Conrad, who is the first tank that basically would get over-pushed. He's still full HP, almost 3.7k on that 705A. Good shot by Marcel and towards Uzek, though. And so Jacob needs to be extremely careful. Another strike, I think, coming on towards him. He's going to be down towards a one-shot.
He's actually going to be down and out altogether as Profuse closes out the kill, and now it is on Storm to really pressure the field hard. YOLO has been found a little bit here by the guns of Storm, dropped towards 820 HP. Minairos coming in with the batch of 25T, wants to close out the kill, finds 2, needs a 3rd actually, but Orchek already retaliating, and it's not looking good for Storm right now. The strike should finish the job for the side of Storm, so they find a kill in return. But can they play off of this? They're down 3k. They do have potentially Conrad in a bit of a pickle, but not before Profuse finds another kill, this time on towards Jordan, and it's not looking good for Storm.
No, it's definitely not looking good for them. The HP are just so low for them. And yes, Lucky and Lukin are trying to double team on towards the 705 right now, but that tank simply doesn't want to die. Uzek biting the dust with his tank respectively, leaving us in a 6 versus 4. Marcel with the ram kill even against Lucky, I believe. And now DJ is just getting farmed by all those Mafia tanks around them. Mafia, after being down 0-1, triple kill. Now they're going to put themselves ahead in match number 3 of the day.
This was a spiritless Ensk from Storm, to be honest. There really was not much to it. It took forever to even achieve anything, and we knew they were in trouble with Sir Jacob. We realized, you know, he's gonna be in trouble at some point during the round, so they gotta do something. But I mean, Mafia likes playing this map. They are not too underprepared for that, and this field push is exactly what Cashback did against them, but with a light. So I guess they also got a bit better against it.
Seems like the training has worked out, and only one victim claimed on the side of Mafia. Meanwhile here, Jordan, not the best of rounds for him, and like even the TDs at the top there. I mean, Minairos, the problem is also with these damage numbers that you see, they are kind of deflated simply because of you're shooting a lot of those TDs, and realistically while you're shooting them, the Juggernaut ability is going to reduce the incoming damage even. So like in a normal 7v7 we would probably even see higher damage numbers, for example by Minairos, but yeah, he didn't find any openings in the city because the bat shot becomes powerful when it kind of like flank a single tank, clip out, then it gets the reload reduction, it gets to clip the tank again, and all of a sudden the opponent like is dead because he just took 2 bat shot clips. They didn't find any such possibilities.
There's no brawler. Minairos could really come in undetected from a flank, get behind somebody, make his first clip, and once you get the first clip, you can get the ball rolling for the second, the third clip potentially. And usually if you do 3 clips in the bat shot and Onslaught, you win the game off of that. But in this regard, no such thing. And I mean, good for Mafia. Losing the first round, now winning the next 2. Storm has to be really careful here not to slip and slide out of control on Ensk, because they are kind of in a similar trend as Suzianki, where they're really allowing Mafia to dictate the way the game is going to be played, where they're just sitting back and waiting and watching. Which I don't know if I like that much.
Yeah, no. Storm is trying to play very, very passive. Like even the round that they won on Studzianki, it seemed like they were giving a lot of opportunities to Mafia. And that trend continues, and so far it's not working out more often than not. So I would like to see Storm adjust a little bit, like be more aggressive, try to take more of the map, try to take more of the neutral objectives for your team. We're not really seeing that currently, which is what's giving Mafia so many opportunities. And yeah, what's realistically giving them the rounds. Mafia obviously is playing well as well. That adds on top of it. Maybe Storm with that playstyle would be able to take a lot more rounds against lesser teams, but Mafia isn't having it.
Like I said, Mafia likes playing Ensk, so for them this might be exactly what they need to you know, make it 3-1. It would be huge for Mafia to pick up some points here, though. You want to remove yourself away from those bottom positions, right?
Mm-hmm. And like realistically, I think Mafia has the big chance of going on towards match point and not only securing 1 but a possible 4 points here against Storm, who so far we're looking pretty healthy in the point department, but obviously now that we are in stage 2, that can quickly switch because per match there are more points up for grabs now. So that is something that we'll need to see, but maybe in like 10 minutes or so after the next round of Ensk, we're once again going to be applauding Storm for playing a beautiful round. I mean, this match is kind of close at this point in time, but it's up to Mafia to make it not close anymore, and they will probably want to do that, as I think we're just about ready to see the lineups for the coming round here. And indeed, Mafia, once again, a lot of TDs and an RHM actually, together with 1 WZ TD, 1 E4, 1 E3, and triple V4.
Storm, bad shot for TDU and 5 E4s. I mean, I do like the E4. You played it in Onslaught yet, Keyhand?
Yes, and I mean, you know, gun is very fun to play. But 5 of them, I think they're then maybe lacking a little bit of the sustain, because it doesn't really have that great armor. Yes, the gun is punchy, the gun is very good, but you don't really have the sustain in prolonged matches. Now, the little train of E4 is on the lower side getting spotted, and actually Yuzek taking the brunt of the damage, because there were, I think, 2 TDs from the lineup of Mafia who were able to retaliate. Now, I think this is actually a recycle from Mafia. They are using... is this a recycle of the cashback strat with the Tesak
Yes.
and using the plane then?
Yes, this is exactly what it is, Gian. And then you push the field on timing, and you check what's coming from K4, so you know if you can keep pushing the 430U fully or not. This is exactly that. It's almost exactly like the way Cashback played it as well. And it was good when Cashback played it, and now you see this 430U is in trouble. He's surrounded. The TDs are too late for the side of Storm coming in. Lucky should just explode at this point. At least you would hope so. Finally, Lucky does start exploding. That's a big strike. Some non-connections coming in. They have to be careful here from the side of Mafia to not overextend for the skill, because that was not as clean as it could have been, but still. They have positions. Mineros is coming in, though, to clip Conrad. And I think Mafia even has to continue here in the south side of the map. DJ is a little bit isolated as well. In his E4, he gets shot on the crossing by Orchak, gets tracked, gets held. Now the rest of the Mafia tanks moving in. The cap has been started in the meantime, though, by Storm, but not before DJ bites the bullet. Conrad falling in the north as well. That was down to Mineros. And the HP not looking that bad whatsoever for the side of Storm, but now Sir Jacob is the next one isolated, and Mafia is able to keep their low HPs. Barkis and Propose alive in the background, and that is very important, as Sir Jacob is going to be the next target eliminated. Leaves Storm standing with 4 tanks, and yeah, they're trying to do their best in terms of the health point department, but in the kill department, they're really trailing, and I think Mafia is using those low HP tanks almost to absolute perfection, getting those shots in, and if Mineros doesn't do something magical here, Kihan, I don't see how Storm gets back.
The ability does now get popped by Orzek, meaning Mineros will need 2 more shots to actually kill him, but it's Lucan to shut it down. So now the kills are almost even, and actually the HP are kind of close. There are 2 super low HPs, but actually Marcel shuts down Jordan. So Lucan, who just took the strike, he needs to make at least 1 kill, as he does. So Marcel gonna bite the dust as well. Profuse with that WZTD also looks very, very yummy, very strikeable, but still it is a 4 versus 3 with the HP advantage on Mafia's side. They need to get Kono in the game, and so do Storm need to get Lucan into the battle with that E4. Profuse another shot, but the kill does come through. It is a 3v3.
Kono finding the kill on Yuzek, very, very important. Good stuff there from Kono. Now it's a 3v2 again with Mafia. Very much ahead, Key. I mean, Kono and YOLO are able to pretty much drive across the map to their heart's desire. Mineros will line up the shot here against Kono, will give it as well. Needs to be careful, man. No ability activated. It's a little bit premature even. Mineros will now come into the game with the bad shot. Lucan takes a shot from Barkis, retaliates, but the ability saves that before. And now Mineros dropped towards a 1 shot. YOLO gives 1. Mineros down towards 73 HP. Now Lucan surrounded, is unable to really do anything. He does find Barkis, but YOLO picks up Mineros, and that will be it for Storm in round number 4. And it's going to be Mafia to put themselves on match point 3-1.
I mean, you know, imitation is actually the sincerest form of flattery. And Mafia, they do take this strategy that we first saw by Cashback, and maybe they didn't execute it as cleanly, and maybe it didn't look as cool because it didn't have a Tesak. But if it works, it works. And Mafia thus are able to put themselves up on match point against Storm, that have looked very, very complacent throughout this whole match. Every single round, they give room, they give opportunity, and they give time to Mafia to do whatever they want. And it seems like Mafia doesn't want to do mistakes. It seems like Mafia wants to win rounds, and that is exactly what they are doing here. I mean, Mineros and Lucan together trying what they can, but in the end, it was just, you know, maybe not clean execute, but it was well played by the team of Mafia. And actually, YOLO there, top damage with that RHM. He did get the important spots as well. He did have the important plane that the repush wasn't arriving, so good job by Mafia.
Really. The fertility could have been picked up cleaner, Key, I'd say. But that was the only thing. After that, they kept rolling, finding kill after kill after kill. And that's exactly what they wanted. And now they get to play Ghost Town. You said you think this is a 1-1 map, right?
Yeah, and if that holds true, I mean, if Storm first picks up a round, that is, this would be 4-2 for Mafia. If Mafia pick up one more, then all of a sudden we are left with an upset of Storm losing, and especially if that's like 4-1, that would be kind of crazy.
No, that would be a very, very good scoreline for Mafia and a disaster for Storm, but it's possible that it happens. I don't think Storm will give it up that easy, though.
No, I think Storm, you know, after Studzianki, they were like, all right, well, it worked out once, it didn't twice. And after the first round of Ensk, they were like, all right, didn't work out. But now I think the alarm bells must be sounding within the Storm TeamSpeak. They need to, you know, switch away from this very passive playstyle that, like, their win condition when having a playstyle like this is basically waiting for the other team to make a mistake. But I think in Onslaught, in Onslaught that doesn't really work, because if you're passive, then the points of information will get taken by the opposing team, giving them an advantage in the battle.
Now, what kind of Ghost Town do we expect, Key?
A Ghost Town in which one of the teams now is going to win the next round. Obviously, I don't know what to expect. I think Mafia, they will want to keep doing what they're doing. I don't think there is any reason for them to change really anything in terms of playstyle. Storm, it's up to them to do something different. And something different is kind of what they're doing. I mean, in E5, not the most common of picks, double Bat Chat, triple V4, and the RHM.
No V4s for Mafia. E3, E4, EBR, HM, Leo. I'm trying to understand the lineup. It's like they took a look at Karlsbach's homework and they said, this looks really good.
I mean, they
I
just
really
did
like
on
this
Ensk.
homework. Can I make this my homework? And then hopefully they don't both get called to the teacher and be like, which one of you two actually wrote this?
Exactly. I mean, like on Ensk, maybe the teams train a lot against each other, and thus sort of, you know, that influences how they play. But so far, it seems to not have hurt Mafia a whole lot. They are on match point, and now Storm kind of with a all-in cap play with that triple V4 coming in here. Bach is caught out in the open and does start to drive away, but that is a huge chunk of damage and a huge toll that E3 has to pay to make a getaway.
Now the cap getting started by Storm. They finally take their own fortune and their own story in their own hands. They're trying to make the plays here, and they have found Barkus in that E3. Pops the ability, but that is double bat shot from behind. Barkus has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I think he even didn't connect on that shot. And yes, Sir Jacob did bleed a lot in return for this Sukihan, so this may just be a 1-2-1 trade as Marcel crosses over. Takes a lot of damage, down towards 500 HP. But they do find Sir Jacob in return for that. So kind of similar as with W Keyhand, where, you know, you find a kill, but you immediately get retaliated on one.
Yeah, and that E5 was supposed to be what holds in the south, but instead it is now dead. And Storm, they are holding a lot of space in the city, but still, the HP are kind of even. That Leopard 1 being solo might be a problem, but actually Lukin taking a big one by Conrad here on the cross. YOLO now fighting for his life, but I don't think he survives this one. Another good Shukin coming in, and now Kono with the EBR will try and come in to save, to remedy the situation. The plane is going to warn Lukin, but a big HE shell already connecting, and now Lukin, it's all going wrong for him.
Yeah, Lukin tried this push here. He really wanted to close out the kill on YOLO, but in return, he's actually going to be the one falling for that as Kono and Conrad came to support. Okay, he's going to make it away a little bit further as Profus now forced towards the outside in the mouse. Needs the cover from the Leo to kick in. Orchek with a good shot as well. Can Conrad find one? Lucky now peeking out. You got to be careful if you're Storm here. Yeah, you give Profus a 1-2 sucker punch and you do get him out of the game. So another objective taken. Can Kono close out the kill? He can. Good stuff by Kono. Finds Lukin. Now though, Storm is tick-tock on a timer, Key.
Indeed, the problem here for Storm is that the outside is thoroughly in control of Mafia at this point in time. They still have a way back into it, however. They still have double Batchat, so those light tanks of Mafia need to be extremely careful. But now, with both the spotting and the Arty Strike being taken, that is a lot more options that are now going to be available for Mafia. You can see Yuzek, he's contemplating the peak on towards the E4, but the problem is, even with the ability active, he would be taking that E4 hit more likely than not, and in return that would mean that he is now one strikeable, because Conrad in that 60 TP, he does have the strike up and available. This is a one-shot. Does he use it is the question. Yes, he uses it on Yuzek, so that one is down and out. Good shot by Jordan though, but I think Ozek is just about to retaliate once again with that E4.
Oof, and he even gets it without ability on Jordan. So the strike from Marcel kills him. And DJ with a good peek finds Orchak in return. Not over just yet. A 4v3, but look at that. YOLO in that bush line spots out Mineros making his way. And there's nothing to stop YOLO from just giving him a shot at any given point and going D-spotted again. They need the CBR to come into the fight though. Kono right now is not contributing too much. And I think Mineros may just find himself a Marcel.
Let's see if the Leopard is able to make a getaway. I think that was a shot from the RHM on the outside. The Batchat still not close here on towards the Leopard 1, and DJ is paying a huge price for that. Yes, the Batchats are clipping out on towards Conrad, but this is going to possibly even enable Marcel to make a play on towards Minairos here. And now Conrad does secure the kill here. So Minairos with an all but impossible 1v4. He's spotted, he's damaged, he's a one-shot, and now he's dead. Mafia are going to complete the upset. 4-1, almost a clean sweep. Storm back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that was beautiful for Mafia. Losing the first, but the next 4 rounds are all for them. Absolutely tremendous stuff. Well-deserved win. Congratulations. 4 points in the bag.
And I think for Storm, they need to kind of reconsider their approach to the gameplay.
Maybe too passive.
Yeah, I think they were just sitting back too much, being too complacent, giving too many opportunities to the opposing team. And that is down to style, not individual misplays. So I think they maybe need to change something. And for Mafia, I mean, it obviously worked out beautifully. And you can see Orzek there, 6.6k damage, 999, absolute jackpot game from him.
Beautiful stuff from Orchak. Not the first time he's been top damage. I think he was in Stuchanki as well, if I recall, on the top of the leaderboard. So yeah, Profuse there. Yeah, well, the mouse is more of the meat. Even Bark is getting at least 2 shots in. The E5 getting caught was pretty bad for Storm though.
Yeah, he died on the outside without really accomplishing much. And I'm not sure exactly where he died, but normally in the E5 you should be able to get more than 3 shots of damage, right? Because even when you get over pushed, you get like at least 2 shots while they start pushing you, plus then 1 more when they're around you, plus it takes some time for them to eliminate you, so it should be more damage than that. On the other hand, I think Mafia was doing a very good job with the heavy tanks that they had of basically delaying in the city for long enough that the outside could be won. And then double light tank against 0 light tanks with the Batchat not really able to play against like EBR and RHM respectively. That was just well done by Mafia. So I think for them, the match plan today completely worked out. And Storm, I think, maybe had a wrong read as to what was happening.
So we are today, Thursday, 3rd of October. So we have 3 play days left, Kihand.
3 play days left in phase 2. That means in total, every team can still net themselves a total of 12 points. But as you do see the calendar here, on Sunday, we are going to be back at 2 p.m. UTC. That's 4 p.m. CEST, because I don't think the time change will be done by then, for actually 6 OLS tokens on Sunday, as you can see here. And next week, we are then going to go absolutely crazy with 12 points apiece for every stream on Tuesday and Thursday. And then on Sunday, for the big finale, we are gonna be having nice and juicy mystery drops lined up for that. But yeah, a kind of a weird day for me because the first two matches kind of went as expected, but this last one is, I think, food for thought, maybe.
Food for thought that even the biggest of storms can be put down by an assassin from an Italian island.
Mm-hmm. And we do now have the final standings. Cashback on top with 22 points, and now Hit and Run and Mafia, both of them with 20 apiece. Not far behind still Storm, but man, that loss today. Imagine they get 4 points. They're top of the board. Now they are
top of the board. Now they're number 4.
Now they're number 4. That's how close it is. And where it is not that close anymore is W and Solyanka. Both of those need to... Well, essentially...
7 points for W if they beat Storm when they play them in the head-on-head, right? And Storm loses once more? Who knows?
Yeah, I think W needs to win against Storm. And
Solyanka, for starters.
And, yeah.
There's 3 playdays left, right?
There is 3 playdays left in Phase 2, yes.
So
let's 12 points total possible.
Yeah, but what I'm curious about is who is W still playing, right? That's what I'm actually curious about because it's important in this regard.
Let's check. Liquipedia is the best website ever for this kind of stuff. So
okay, so Hit and Run next. So Hit and Run next, then Mafia, then Solyanka. So everything to play for. And Storm is, and now I need to know who Storm is still playing, for example, because they're currently the lowest team.
So Storm, currently I'm opening the website right now, so I'll be able to tell you. Storm is going to play on match day 10. They're playing Solyanka. On match day 11, they are playing Hit and Run. And on the last day, Storm is playing against Cashback.
Okay, so not an easy road for Storm either.
No.
I mean, they're still playing the 2 bottom teams, quote unquote, but
yeah, it's not an easy road from here on out. But actually, on match day 12, Solyanka is playing against W, so they are going to take points from each other. So yeah, first of all though, this is not the end of the road. After the Onslaught Legends Series, there is going to be a second season, and the relegations for that one are going to be happening on October 15th. Yesterday was actually the second last playday of the OCS, the Onslaught Champions Series, which is kind of, you know, the second league currently that's ongoing. And there we will be finding parts of the participants for the OLS season number 2. So that's going to be very exciting. But I think, Ducky, that is probably going to be all she wrote. The only reminders that we still have to do, I guess, is to come back on Sunday. Also to keep staying on Ducky's channel, where hopefully today the internet will be stable. So you can keep claiming all of those drops. Other than that, stay hydrated. And as always, last words to you, Ducky.
All I'm going to say is that it was Kihan that sabotaged my internet because I was just about to expose him. If you see the clip, you would know what I'm talking about, but cannot say that here because he threatened to sue me. No, interesting stuff. Kind of getting a separation between the bottom 2 and the top 4, but anything could still change. The last 3 playdays are very important. Remember, Sunday, Kihan already mentioned, it's going to be earlier when we start the action rolling in. Also, on Sunday, we have the second semifinal on an A to see who is going to be participating for the OLF, which is also some very good stuff. So I hope to see you guys all there. But for today and tonight, it's more than enough from the 2 of us. I will see you guys later. Hope you have a wonderful night. See you guys soon.